Certainty of death, small chance of success. What are we waiting for?
Fellas, I feel this is my lucky day.
Brilliant.
Hey, and welcome to another episode of Rankum. It's been a while since we've done a TV-related episode, so we're doing so. I was surprised that it got voted in, to be honest. But we're here. We're going to be doing DC television shows. And I've got a breakout bunch of people here. Got Matt Kearns here. Matt, how's it going?
It's going very well. I'm excited to talk about this because we talk a lot about DC movies, past, present. We don't really talk about television. DC's got a lot of great television. There's an argument to be made that if Marvel has the better movies, DC has the better television. So this will be fun. And obviously, as a big DC fan, I am wearing the jersey of the greatest DC character in the world, Roy Kent, because he's Roy Kent. He's here. He's there. He's every freaking where. Roy Kent.
But also we've got Tim Smith. Tim, how's it going?
Well, I mean, you're talking about TV. Of course, I'm going to be here, so I can see why Matt Kearns wasn't in TV Throwdown now. So at least we have a mostly reunion, But it's
well, that was a weird
slight
to me, Tim. Nice to see you too.
It's good to see you too, Matt, for our twice a year meetup. But yeah, it's good, especially with a lot of DC shows because, like what Kearns said. Marvel always had the better movies for the longest stretch. DC always had the better television shows, and if you want how you want to define certain ones like spin-offs and what have you, they always had the better TV universe. So it's interesting to see how these lists are going to go. I think I got some sleepers on here, but we'll see how it
goes. But also here we've got Zedius Smith. Zedius, how's it going?
Surprise, everybody. Congratulations. You've been tricked to be watching an episode, complete spontaneous episode of TV Throwdown. I'm going to be hosting this match, and it's going to be Tim versus Matt. Congratulations. Welcome, everybody. I'm playing.
Win this one.
It feels good to be back on Rankum, man. First episode of Rankum I think I've been on this year, so, I mean, the year's still young, but, hey, it feels good, and especially about a topic I love. I love Marvel TV, but I think when it comes to DC TV, I've realized when making this list that I've mostly been a DC fan for most of my life until, of course, 2008. And even still a DC fan, and then Marvel started winning me over with their movies after that.
At least there won't be any vampire shows, thank God.
Well.
But last but not least, we've got Chris Diaz. Chris, how's it going?
Good. As soon as I heard about DC TV show, I knew I want to be on. DC is something I've been watching since probably I've been young. Love every DC show. There's a lot of great ones, a lot of sleepers. One I'm hoping to bring up there is one of my favorite Netflix DC shows. That used to be a regular cable show, but yeah, here to have fun.
But yeah, I mean, this is going to be a fun because there's a lot of DC TV shows out there, which is a surprise. And just so you know, the imprints do count. So if it's a Vertigo, Wildstorm, whatever the DC imprints are, then they are eligible because they're still under the DC banner. And there's definitely a few that I just that have been made that I just haven't seen that are big ones, but I didn't have time to binge watch a whole 9 seasons or something. So
just tell me it's practically my entire list, Malcolm.
But with that being said, how Rankum works is we're each going to go around in a panel and nominate TV shows we think belong on the top 12 lists of DC television shows, and then everyone will say yes or no to them. But Matt, we go to you first. What is the first TV show you're going to bring up?
All right. So the first show I'm going to bring up, because we're doing top 12 DC shows. We're not just doing the top 12 DC shows of the last couple of years. This is all encompassing. And with that, I'm going with a show that is still to this day influential to not just DC shows, but I think animated series in general. And that is Max Fleischer's Superman from the 40s. This serial is if you love Batman the Animated Series, guess what? Paul Dini talks about how this was the series that inspired that with the Art Deco, with the look. And this is one of the greatest tellings of Superman. What's wonderful is that this was so early on in the history of Superman. This is before flight was introduced. This is when Superman could only leap tall buildings in a single bound, and he was faster than Speedball and strong, more powerful than a locomotive. And this is still a great series. It's obviously it's a little bit simpler. The episodes are mostly, hey, this bad guy is doing stuff, and Clark Kent's gonna take off his glasses and become Superman, and just he floats. He literally flies with style, as Woody would say. But it's still an incredible show, and when you look at the art style and everything, because of what it inspired, you put it next to an episode of Batman the Animated Series, and it doesn't look like it was made like 40 years before that show came out. So that's my first nomination is Max Fleischer's.
Tim, what do you say about Max Fleischer's Superman?
See, I never really thought about that one. I went more with the live action with the Adventures of Superman back in '52, which is it's basically the same premise. It was the same setup with the show, just live action. Even when they flipped from black and white and went into color, I think around, I want to say season 3 or 4.
I was going to say, I think it's season 3 when they went to color.
Yeah, but I mean, it's on the same aspect of either live action or animation of it. It's basically the same thing of it. So I wouldn't mind putting it on there because it is an iconic character in DC with Superman, kind of like the king daddy of all superheroes, whether you want to go Marvel or DC. It's most people, 65, 75% of the time are going to say Superman, and that was our first look with Superman, even though it was animation. So, I mean, I wouldn't mind putting it on there. I'd give it a thumbs up.
Zedius, what do you say about Max Fleischer's Superman?
I'm gonna say no, only because I know I've seen episodes of it, but it's just been so long ago, and I appreciate the history of it. And of course, like I was saying, that this was the show that gave Superman a lot of this canon, the canonical powers and stuff that he may have today. It was a predecessor to like all these other shows, like the true pioneer of them. But I just, because I haven't seen it in years, I know I've seen episodes when I was a kid and stuff, but I just have 12 other shows, and there's some honorable mentions that were more important to me. So yeah, I wouldn't mind if it's on here, but yeah, I've seen it.
And Chris, what do you say about Max Fleischer's Superman?
I've seen episode here and there as a kid growing up. This is not the Superman show I would put on here. I see it's not my favorite Superman show, not my favorite animated Superman show. But yeah, it's fine. It was good for what it was. I might do not hold out well a little bit today, but it was good for what it was back then. The kid, I just wish I know. Why?
Yeah, I just simply haven't seen it. But
It's on HBO Max, people, and it's gonna Blu-ray release.
I mean, it's and also let's face it, as I was going down the list of DC TV shows that have been around, there's a lot of Superman and Batman TV shows. There's going to be little sub-representation on here. But Tim, what is your first nomination you're going to bring up?
God, I had a list so long here of a lot of shows, and I thought we were going to knock the easy ones out first. So I'm going to nominate, I think, an easy one that would fly under the Imprints title with The Boys. Now, this to me is, I think, Zack Snyder's vision of superheroes in real life done right. It's very dramatic, a very good show, even with a lot of comedy. You could throw comedy, drama, action, superheroes into it. It's just a great overall series, and we've already had 3 seasons. We're coming out with season 4, which is hopefully not too far off. Yeah, but I'm going to nominate The Boys.
Zedius, what do you say about The Boys?
Oh no, Imprints is not really DC. I'm playing. Oh, joking. Sorry. Yes, hell yeah.
I have to take away your title reign.
The Boys is an awesome show, amazing show. And I heard about that before, even though it being part of Imprints. Even though when you reminded us that was eligible for this list, it completely caught me by surprise again. But I love the show. It It's had 3 great seasons so far. I can't wait for season 4. I haven't caught the little diabolical episodes, but I need to go and watch those. But yeah, it's an easy yes for me.
Chris, what do you say about the boys?
I love this show. This show I knew nothing about, but I remember watching the first episode, like, what the hell am I in for? And I love every moment of it. Anthony Starr as Homelander is one of the best TV villains the last couple of years. Like, the fact he haven't been Emmy nominated stopped me that he haven't got nominated because his acting great. Huey is great. Carl Urban, fantastic. I love the cast. I love the humor. Don't watch it. Never watch it with your parents. I had to pause the opening scene of season 3 for specific reasons so they don't walk in on. You know what I mean? But yeah, I love this show. Huge yes for me. This is one of my favorite DC show.
Yeah, I mean, this is one that I did not realize was DC until I went through the list in preparation for this because, like, I saw this come up as one of the influences. Like, really? But partly because, like, it is making fun of both DC superheroes and Marvel superheroes. So it's like, oh yeah, it's his own thing. It's not okay. It was on the list, like, and it was definitely high up. It's like, I mean, I was not going to say no to something that stars 2 New Zealand actors in it, like in Carl Urban and Anthony Starr. But
I feel like his vote should be rescinded just for that comment.
Hey, he's got to represent.
I mean, it's one of those ones. Like, I think there could be a chance to be get Emmy nominations because of the weird nomination cycle that Emmys goes in. Because I think the reason The Boys was eligible and not eligible for last year's was because it just came out just at the start of the news, so it could be nominated this year for Emmys. So, but yeah, so it's a yes for me. Matt, what do you say about The Boys?
I have absolutely nothing to say because I've never seen this show.
You got to get on it.
Oh, my sweet summer child.
I'll let you borrow my Prime. You got to see this.
I have Amazon Prime. It's one of those shows that's like I've always seen ads for, but like I have like 15 shows that I'm watching. I still gotta finish Quantum Leap and MacGyver, so I'll get around to
This is better than Quantum Leap and MacGyver.
Maybe not the original Quantum Leap and MacGyver, but
I'm talking about the original Quantum Leap.
All right, I was about to say.
I mean, shows first.
I mean, the remake of Quantum Leap's not bad, but it's not DC. So, but moving on to ZDS, what is your next nomination?
Oh, my first nomination. I'm kind of conflicted because I'm not sure if I'm going to go for just pull up and shoot or I go for a layup. But you know, I think this should be semi layup, but I don't know. I think there's another person that loves the show on this list on the panel. But it to me has given me one of the 2 best Lex Luthors in my opinion in like film and TV on the show, and it introduced me to my favorites actors in the future. Ian Somerhalder and Paul Wesley both made famous from the Vampire Diaries, but they were on here first. The grandfather or the daddy of the Arrowverse to me, Smallville. I was gonna fit Vampire Diaries in there somewhere too.
No, that wasn't what I was pissed about. You built me up for something else.
Oh.
Chris, what do you say about Smallville?
Take aside my problem with that he never become actually Superman to the last episode. That issue aside there, I love this show. I think it's a phenomenal show. I think Tom Welling is great. Michael Rosenberg is fantastic. Les Luthor, John Glover is great as the dad. Les Luthor, he's very creepy, menacing, but he also has sympathy. So I love every casting this show. Does it have seasons that are not good? Yes. Look at you, season 4. But I do love the cast. I love the relate. I like everybody in this show. It's a good show. It's my second favorite Superman show live action. The one I like a little bit more, but yeah, for me.
See, I disagree on that notion. I think Smallville has no bad seasons. I actually enjoyed all season 4. I thought it was good.
I enjoyed half of season 4. When it focused on Clark as the football player, that was good. When it dealt with Lana and her whole like being a witch, that's when I was like, "This isn't good."
Yeah, that was a weird.
But I mean, it's It's one of those ones that I've actually been rewatching it ever since it's been put on Amazon Prime for me over here, and it's just a lot of fun, and it doesn't bother me because that he doesn't become he only becomes Superman in the end, because they made it clear from the get-go, like there was going to be no tights and no flights. Like they literally said,
Yeah, I think that was in his contract.
we're not going to see, we literally said we're not going to see him as Superman. Also, I believe there was an episode dealing with vampires in Smallville.
Our introduction to Amy Adams in the show.
Oh, it was.
But Matt, what do you say about Smallville?
Yeah, I love Smallville. I think have I talked about Smallville on here before? I'm actually not even sure. But yeah, I love Smallville. John Schneider and Annette O'Toole are my favorite Jonathan and Martha. Erica Durance is the greatest Lois Lane to ever exist. Tom Welling is the second best Clark Kent. So yeah, there's a lot of things. Michael Rosenbaum is wonderful as Lex Luthor. Yeah, it's a show that it's interesting because it starts off as this sort of like teen drama, and then once he gets out of like high school and college and he's working with the Daily Planet, then it evolves into a Superman show without Superman, and I love that. I love the Green Arrow in this. If you were introduced to that character by Arrow, completely different, but in a good way. Yeah, it's a great show. I love it. It's the reason why when Tom Welling and Erica Durance popped up in Crisis, I was super excited. I own a replica of Clark's high school jersey for a reason, because I love this show, and I probably should have been wearing that or a Superman shirt tonight, but whatever. Yeah, Smallville gets a yes from me.
I think it was a missed opportunity for them not to bring back Justin Hartley in the Crosses and Infinity.
That would be cool.
Yeah,
that would be.
This is us, though. He was making that NBC
so weird
money.
to watch him from This Is
I
Us.
was gonna, that's what I was saying. He might have been tied up doing This Is Us at the time.
Yeah.
But
Tim, what do you say about Smallville?
Let's see. Zadius, Malcolm, fuck you. Matt and Chris, you guys are fine. No, I mean, I don't really mind it. I actually had to watch it for one of Zadius' matches because he put it on for a TV strength. And, I mean, it's fine. It's not your traditional Superman that you would see, like him as Superman. It's more of a story of him working to become the man of Superman, which is fine. I think it dragged on for too many seasons, in my opinion. I disagree with Zadius on one point. My favorite Lex Luthor comes in 1993, but that's my opinion on it. I mean, I don't mind Smallville for it. It's a show a lot of people love. It's a different take on stretching out the origin stories of a superhero, which is fine. It was a teen drama, which that would be my only discount on the show, because I hate teen dramas with a passion. But it was for a teen drama audience. So, I nominated on there. So,
but if that Smallville does make the list, Chris, we go to you for your next nomination.
So, rather than going with the obvious one, I'm going to shoot my shoot here. I mentioned it early in the show about one of my favorite shows I'd love to be on here. It was a show that started out on Fox, and then it went over to Netflix. It's based on a DC character. I think it's one of the most fun show with great cast, great humor, and without referencing to anybody never seen the yoga episode, we love to mention this show a lot. It's Lucifer. I think this is easily one of the most unique, fun, phenomenal cast, really good writing, really good story. I think the idea of what is Lucifer, stay away from hell and work with the police is interesting. First season okay, but when they get to his mom, to Cain, from Cain and Abel, I think you get interesting, and then you get his daughter in last season. His relationship with the detective retreat. It's funny. The cast is great. Elliot's phenomenal character. Every character is personality, and you get President Palmer from 24. as his dad in later season, and then you get President Palmer's brother as well as Lucifer's brother. I think that episode alone, the musical episode, it's a great show, and it really surprised you when you realize it's based on the DC character and when he does pop up in Crisis. That's I read that one night little neat twist there. I had to bring up Lucifer because if I bring up later, they get no because they say yes to too many things.
But yeah, I mean, I think I've seen one episode of this. I just don't know why I never continued on, but maybe I didn't really like it that much and just gave up on it. So I haven't seen it. Matt, what do you say about Lucifer?
Yeah, unfortunately, this is another one of those shows that I've just never seen. I've seen him because I believe the actor popped up in one of the
Crisis
crossovers.
Yeah.
So I've seen him, but I've just never sat down and watched the show before.
You guys in the first treat, you ever sit down and get the yoga episode over everything.
Tim, what do you say about Lucifer?
I mean, when you can make a show that makes me see the devil as a sympathetic character, that's an interesting take on it. And being part as a DC imprint, I mean, I never would have expected that either until I looked at the list like when you did earlier and saw a lot of the what they call add on the imprints. Lucifer is, like what Chris said, great cast, great chemistry. I didn't enjoy season 6 so much. I think they could have ended it on season 5 and it still would have ended high. I think higher with season 5. But all over, great show. I do love the family dynamic with the angels. It's that whole different take of what you see with the religion story with angels, God, what have you. It's great. It's an amazing show, and I really do think Fox screwed the pooch bad by not keeping that. That would have been one of their great shows.
Thank you.
You're
Netflix,
going to tell
for
me
picking
that
it up.
Fox doesn't know when they have a good thing and they cancel it? No.
Fox is the worst.
Never network.
That Netflix picked it up, and we got to see more stuff they with the show.
Yeah.
Netflix have existed when Firefly got canceled.
Anyway, Zedius, what do you say about Lucifer?
I'm so glad it's nominated this because it's an easy yes for me. I love Lucifer in it. I love Lucifer TV show. To be specified. It was one of those shows that completely caught me off guard. I saw a pilot of it before this seems pretty funny, and be able that whole first season was hilarious, great. Tom Ellis did the damn thing on the show. Like he was like really the MVP of the show to me, and of course, Chloe and Trixie, all the other cast was amazing. And I gotta say, Kevin Alejandro was one of those people who played Dan in the show. Was one of the people that got on my nerves. But in season 5, when that event happens,
grows on you.
Yeah.
He does. He 100% grows on you. And when something certain happens, I'll be damned. The tears were in my eyes, especially when somebody asks us for a question, and that just got to me. But so overall, I love this show. This was a great show. I miss it.
Yeah, I miss it too. My favorite episode. I don't love when they bring reality into a TV show, but I like the episode where Adriel, the kid, in the police station.
Yeah.
Heartbreaking episode.
And then of course, like you said, yes, they had Mr. Allstate, Mr. You're in Good Hands, Mr. Dennis Haysbert as Guy.
Excuse me, his name is Serrano. Thank you very much.
I just thought it was amazing. As soon as I saw him, I'm like, oh my God, you're in good hands.
And then it had the more funny improvised scene with the yoga episode. I won't spoil for Malcolm and Matt because when you get to the episode.
But that's.
I mean, you can spoil it if you want. I don't know if I'm going to go and watch it.
Yeah. Netflix definitely made it better in my opinion too.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed Lucifer talk. Now airing during Rankum.
On the Sunday.
No longer Rankum. It's now Lucifer.
But anyway, moving on. It's up to me to nominate now, and And I think Michael K would be mad at us if we don't try to bring up some animated shows.
Oh, excuse me. I did start with an animated show. Don't start this bullshit,
Yeah,
Malcolm.
Lucifer
So
made the
are we
list.
adding
Thanks,
Lucifer
Never.
to the list or no?
Oh, yeah, I mean, it made the list.
Yeah, I think 3 of us. Yeah.
Yeah. Unless Zedius was going to surprise us all and say, no, I'd already put it down on my list.
No, I wouldn't do it for that.
But yeah, moving on, I'm going to try for another animated show, and it's definitely in my opinion, it's probably one of the greatest animated shows around. And it's Young Justice. This is a show that I really enjoyed watching. I got to it really too late. I've still got to finish the latest season, but I'm still sort of making my way through it. But I think just focusing on these like the younger characters, like the Superboys, the Kid Flashes, and all that. I think it was a good way of taking it, while still including the big ones like the Superman and all that as well. And I think just the way they sort of worked this in and gave them this own kind of story, and made it seem like they weren't just trying to copy the form and just using the adult versions all the time. But yeah, so Young Justice, I think, should be on this list. Matt, what do you say about Young Justice?
So I watched like the first 2 seasons when it was out on Cartoon Network, and I liked it, but it was one of those shows where it's like, I think they switched the time slot, and this was back when I was like younger, and so I wasn't paying attention to these things. Because I remember like later on seeing like freaking like Nightwing was on the show, and I was like, I don't remember him being on that show. For as much as I do remember liking the show, I think there is another Cartoon Network series that deals with younger superhero characters that is animated that I think is superior to Young Justice, and we should save the slot for that. So,
Tim, what do you say about Young Justice?
I mean, it's a fine idea of taking like the aspect in life of the next generation of the superheroes, because like you said, you do see Superman, you do see Batman, you see Wonder Woman, you see the original OGs, and then you see their next generation of it. But I do agree with Kearns of all the animated shows we've had, and it only coming down to 12 shows. I think there's a lot better animated shows that are more prominent for the list. I figured Matt would talk about, I know which one Matt's talking about. I think there's another one that's better, but I'm sure it'll be brought up later. But I think there's, if you're doing a top 20, yeah, I'd put it on there. But as a top 12, I wouldn't put it in top 12.
can you imagine if Rankin was top 20, how long these episodes would be?
Oh, God. Malcolm would pull out what hair he has left. He's like, fuck this.
I mean, we'll probably still be doing the TV themes episode that we started off
shit.
really early.
Wait. TV themes?
But we've done multiple TV. I've done it.
He's talking about when this was like the 3rd or 4th episode of Rankin.
Yeah.
It was and this was my first episode of Rankin, mind you. It's amazing that I still come on this show after that experience.
One more mark for Malcolm. Zadius, you're catching up to be back in the top 10.
Malcolm, you're on the list.
But Zedius, what do you say about Young Justice?
This is one of those shows where kind of opposite effect happened with Lucifer. When it left Cartoon Network, it got a little bit worse to me. And if it would have stopped after season 2, because I thought the first 2 seasons were great, and especially the way season 2 ended, had me wondering, had questions in my mind. And I just thought if it would have went away forever after that, I think it probably would have been in the top 12. But season 3, while it went more international, it just felt, even though I think like maybe 10 and 13 episodes, it still felt like some stuff was core. It just kind of felt like filler, and it got me to the point where when season 4 came out, I still haven't seen it. So I can't say yes to it, because I wish it would have stopped after season 2. I really do. And while I loved it, and I would have been cool to see it, done better. I wish it would have just been done better with season 3 and 4. Well, season 3 for sure. So yeah, I gotta say no.
Chris, what do you say about Young Justice?
I sadly have not seen it. I watched many other DC animated shows, just the one that escaped me just because there's so many great ones. Even I have seen it, there's just so many I would mention that haven't been brought up yet before.
But Matt,
But it did leave Cartoon Network. Then that explains why I stopped watching it.
Yeah, it left and it got quote unquote canceled. It didn't it actually did get canceled. And then they brought it back on HBO Max.
Okay, that explains why I only saw the first 2 seasons. Because I'm like, I like that show, and then just mysteriously, it wasn't on Cartoon Network anymore.
Actually, I think they went on HBO Max with the 4th season. I think the 3rd season they tried putting into a primetime slot or something.
Maybe so. Maybe so.
But anyway, Matt,
it was HBO Max going, we need content.
All right.
We have a better animated show on HBO.
I'm hoping things go well here, but with the panel, I don't know. But I have to bring this up because if I don't bring it up, I'm going to kick myself. I'm bringing up my favorite superhero TV show, not just DC, which is 1990's The Flash. This show is freaking incredible. I argued it in a TV debate once, and I won the debate that this is a super influential show to comic book live action series that came later. It only has 1 season, and that's because, as we talked about Lucifer and we talked about a dozen things, it wasn't the quality of the show, it was the stupidity of the studio airing the show. But the show's great. John Wesley Shipp, there's a reason why they kept bringing him back to the Arrowverse, is because he made an impact with this character. Obviously, Mark Hamill is the trickster. Kind of got him the job as the Joker later on. Tina McGee is great. Alex Desert is wonderful. And I like the fact that this show takes itself seriously while still allowing itself to have fun. I think too often with superhero shows, and I think DC in particular, they like to lean into the seriousness, and they don't allow themselves to have fun sometimes. This one, it has a great balance of both of them. And it also has a Danny Elfman theme. Who doesn't love a Danny Elfman theme? So yeah, my nomination is The Flash, 1990. And now I have to hear all about Grant Gustin.
Also, before I move on, season 3 of Young Justice was on the DC Universe app.
That's right.
I loved that app, and then they freaking got rid of all the content for HBO Max. God.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, but Tim, what do you say about The Flash from 1990?
See, I agree with Matt a lot. It did bring a lot of flavor, especially seeing The Flash in live action for the first time, technically. If it was more seasons, I probably would have included it. I think there's some other shows that are some good first appearance live actions that had more seasons. Not to say that it wasn't a great show, because Matt, you hit a lot of the keys to it. It found a balance of comedy and drama and action. It had a great cast. I just think if it was longer, we would have a completely different discussion. But then again, dumbass executives, I don't think that's a good idea. Why don't you go walk in front of a bus? Yes. But because I think there's other shows to put in there, and with that just being 1 season, I would not. But if it was more seasons, it'd be a completely different discussion for me.
Zedius,
unless every season sucked, then it wouldn't be.
Zedius,
no, I think they still would have kept going.
Oh no, it would have. Yeah, it would have been good.
I just gotta say, John Wesley Shipp, if you ever watch this episode, I apologize. Only because I have all the Arrowverse shows I watched, all 9 seasons of The Flash that's currently going on. I still have not gone back and watched the original, so I apologize to you, good sir. I got to stay for this because I feel like I would like the show, but I've honestly never seen it. Like, not even one episode.
It's really
good. I don't even know where you can find it now.
It's on HBO Max.
It's probably on HBO Max. I probably need to just give it a shot. Yeah. So I guys take a stand from this one. I know, but yeah. That's
If I
Chris,
inspire
what,
people to watch this show, even doing it on the list, that's good enough.
Chris, what do you say about the 90s Flash?
Once again, did another show that I've seen bits and pieces on right on YouTube, just watching clips from the old show. I just haven't seen all of it, and much I love Wrestling Snit, and I love Mark Hamill. I just not the Flash I would bring up, even though the Flash haven't been that great lately. So, yeah, still, I don't need to see more.
I'm just saying, John Wesley Shipp has a great season of the show. Can't say the same about Grant Gustin because he has some bad seasons.
Disagree.
Oh, of course, Maverick does. His Arrowverse can do no wrong.
I mean, it can, but
no,
it can. It 100%.
Yeah,
can. It did several times.
But yeah, I just haven't seen the 90s Flash.
Malcolm, 21 episodes and a fucking pilot movie. You have listened to me talk about this shit on air, off air, and you did not bother ever to watch it. It's not like The Boys says 3 seasons you're behind it. Literally.
I forgot they aired that as a
maybe
movie pilot.
Look, the only reason I haven't seen it is because it's not streaming anywhere for me. I mean, the HBO Max does not exist in New Zealand.
You have told me several times you pirate things. You're telling me you can't pirate the show?
You cannot light a.
Don't start with me on this.
I mean, I do, but as I said, there are some shows I was going to watch for this. I just didn't have time to binge watch a whole season of shows.
These allegations that you made against my client are preposterous, Matthew. Preposterous. My client does not engage in any piracy claims.
He has said it live on air that he's pirated before.
Anyway, Tim, what's your next nomination?
I'm glad you asked, Captain Malcolm.
Tim, please make it the Superman show when you talked about your favorite Lex Luthor.
Well, there's something I want to add that was more influential with me as a kid before Power Rangers, because me and Matt love Power Rangers. We could talk about that for a whole episode. I think we have a few times. But another one that I grew up with that was an animated series that I would not miss an episode of. I loved Batman the Animated Series.
Finally.
From 92 to 95, some of the best animation. I loved it. I would run home from school every day to catch it. I would watch reruns in the mornings when I catch them before school. I loved the Batman animated series and went through great mythos. You had great voice acting with Batman. You had Ra's al Ghul, who I think was an actual proper showing of Ra's al Ghul. You know, I don't think the Arrow was good for the proper showing of Ra's al Ghul.
No.
But I mean, Batman animated series. What more can you say? I mean, it's. Go ahead. That's what I nominate.
Sadius, what do you say about the Batman animated series?
Oh, it's definitely an easy yes for me. I love the show growing up. I loved watching reruns of it when I can. I even bought the whole a couple years ago whenever they came out with the Blu-ray set with the 3 toy figurines. I made sure to cop that ASAP as soon as I could. Great show. Wow. Let me be careful. It wasn't my favorite of the shows, and I'm going to say my next one next. This is definitely the quintessential. It was definitely the quintessential Batman and Joker mythology for me. I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is what introduced Harley Quinn to the Harley Quinn.
Yep.
Harley Quinn to the masses. Period. And just
not just the mass in general. This show created Harley Quinn. She didn't exist previously to this show.
Exactly, and I think it has such great villains as don't know the voice actors behind, but Two-Face. It made Man-Bat look notorious. The Riddler.
Mark Hamill alone.
Yeah. Mark Hamill alone is more than enough to hold the show up. But it can't go on. You can't mention this show without Mark Hamill, and of course the man himself, R.I.P. to Kevin Conroy. So yeah, definitely yes to me.
Chris, what do you say about Batman the Animated Series?
Finally, somebody brought it up. I would really do end up not bringing up at a certain point. I love this show. This is my second animated show with Batman in it. might bring mine up next. Is that he doesn't bring up. I love this show. I think Mark Hamill is great. The Mr. Freeze episode is my favorite episode from the show. I think that is like that how to do a villain's tragic story really right and really heartbreaking. Like Joker is great, Two-Face is great, Poison Ivy is really good. Like I love every episode. The Adam West showing up in one episode, like
Grey Ghost,
the one that inspired Batman to be who he is. Like that kind of cleverness there. I mean, this is a huge yes for me. Like nobody would do anything up before now. I would have brought it up myself. I love the show.
But yeah, I mean, a while ago, I was going to blind by what I thought was Batman the Animated Series on Blu-ray, but it turned out it was the series just titled The Batman, a different animated series.
2004 series, which is pretty damn good.
But,
it's not wrong. It's decent.
But you once again,
Keith Davis is the Joker.
If I had time to binge watch various shows, this is another one I would have watched. I've not seen this. It's one I knew was going to come up, and it's just one I never had a chance to see at all. But yeah,
I might be mean when I ask this. Did it not air in New Zealand or?
It probably did. It's just one of those ones like I had other shows I watched a lot as a kid. Like this is not one that was ever at times I was watching. So
well, Malcolm for New Zealand. I mean, for New Zealand, don't you guys have like certain standards for what can air on television too? I think so. It might not have aired because it was kind of.
It was like Power Rangers.
It was dark.
Shot in New Zealand.
No. I mean, I don't know. Like, I'd have to take the time machine back and find TV guides from back at that time frame.
Like, it don't mean a time machine. It's called Google.
I mean, I don't think Google would show me New Zealand TV guides from
Malcolm. It's the internet. You'd be surprised what's on there.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's one of those ones like I remember watching Power Rangers a lot as a kid before it got cancelled. Stopped airing.
And then they started shooting it. That's the weirdest thing for me. They're like, you can shoot the show here. We're not going to fucking air it, but you can shoot it here.
Well, ironically, I think it was very late where they lifted the ban on Power Rangers airing in New Zealand.
Well, that's why I brought that up because I remember like certain standards you guys had for what you could and couldn't air. And that's why I was like,
yeah,
I wonder if they even aired.
It's just Malcolm's standards. Dark? Malcolm was in charge of programming for New Zealand.
I mean, it's one of those ones I'm not sure.
Lord of the Rings all day, every day on television. That's it. Nothing else.
I mean, you say that like it's a bad thing.
So he would put every Peter Jackson movie on air every single day.
I mean, you're assuming it's not?
Yeah, I was gonna say, Chris. I kind of just assume that is what television does.
But this thing, like, I think if it's a New Zealand movie, guarantee it's going to be aired on TV at some stage. Like, it's even though it's
Attack of the Clones is the most aired Star Wars film in New Zealand.
Anyway, this has got a really weird tangent. But Matt, what do you say about Batman the Animated Series?
Sorry, I derailed this entire thing. We were having such a good conversation.
Watch Matt say he hasn't seen it.
No, I love this show. I adore this show. This was one of my introductions to DC. Hopefully, maybe I'll get to talk about what my introduction was. But this was a show that Cartoon Network would run reruns of, and then I remember later on when I was in late middle school and high school. The unfortunately defunct Hub Network used to play it, and they used to actually for a while they would do Saturday mornings at 9 o'clock. I remember Batman the Animated Series would be on, and so I would be up on a Saturday morning to catch the episode. I mean, this show's incredible. You guys already brought up the great cast of villains. I also just want to make mention to the great cast of heroes we had. We had, Dick Grayson and Tim Drake's Robbins. We had Alfred, of course, Barbara Gordon, Jim Gordon, Harvey Bullock. So on both sides, we had a lot of great characters, and the stories they told were always amazing. You guys brought up some of the great ones. One of my favorites is Baby Doll. I particularly for the ending of the episode, I think it's one of the most heart-wrenching episodes. And I think this show was so, at a time when television and cartoons in particular, which, not to say anything bad against, shows like Animaniacs or Ren and Stimpy, which were very crazy. Batman the Animated Series really existed in having very quiet moments. And I think what was so good about this show was the fact that they knew it was airing on Fox Kids and then later the WB. But so they knew kids were watching it, but that didn't mean they had to dumb anything down.
Yeah.
It treated the viewers seriously, and said, we're going to tell you some really great stories, and some of that's going to hurt, but some of it's going to be funny. One of the moments, look, Mark Hamill's my favorite Joker. He is. And one of the moments that encapsulates why I love him is the man who killed Batman, when he's giving his eulogy, and then he's like, and we're going to take that man there, put him in that box there, and send him into that vat of acid there. Who wants Chinese? It's amazing. This show gets a yes from me.
Yeah, my favorite episode, one of my favorite, when they show you how they could have got Batman, but they didn't.
Almost got him. That's a great one.
And Crocodile just threw a rock at him. It
was.
I do love how you touched on it, Matt. With they didn't dumb this down for kids. It was, we know kids are smart. They'll get the stories. They'll like it, and it was so ahead of its time, I think, for a lot of animated superhero shows, even a lot of animated shows in general. It was just the perfect timing for it, and it's just resonated.
One thing is it needed more Nightwing in season 4. But that's Nightwing.
Hey, Chris, I don't think you ever had to worry about it not coming up. I think it would have eventually come up.
I don't know, Malcolm. There's several episodes of Rank Up to where we're like, oh, this is a lock, and then it does not ever get brought up. If we would have made to number, gonna bring it up.
Strategy, Matt.
Yeah, that strategy got me to not bring up the Mighty Ducks when we did live action Disney movies.
I mean, I don't know. That strategy helps you make people forget about Daredevil.
Excuse me. No, look. Cody and Rob like to pretend like they forgot. They knew it. They knew when we did these.
Everyone remembers that movie Headache.
They knew.
Ben Affleck Daredevil?
No, it wasn't even a case of
I thought you were bringing up that horrible movie, which I was gonna.
You did not mention the movie in this.
And it's not a horrible movie. It's really good.
I mean,
director cut, yes, they're good.
Anyway, this is not Marvel. We can forget about this.
Let's talk about the other Ben Affleck superhero character.
The good one.
Let's talk about it.
My next nomination, I think I'm going to go ahead and catch this ball right now that Tim just drew and kind of bring things out of the darkness into the light a little bit because, again, love Batman the Animated Series. And just, even though it was short-lived, it wasn't one of those shows that went on for seasons and seasons and seasons, and that's okay. But I was glad to go from Batman into this show pretty much. And this is one of those shows that made me realize I really like Superman. I really love Superman, and I've been kind of waiting for villains like this in Superman movies. Like this show introduced me to Parasite, which I thought was great. Introduced me to the best Metallo ever, and damn it, I wish a movie or show would do a better Metallo than they had John Corbin and Metallo in this show. But this show's Metallo was great.
Don't worry, just wait for Superman, Son of Krypton.
I want that. Just give me something that had a great Brainiac, a dreading Brainiac to me again. While it was a little bit definitely on the lighter side coming out the Dark and Great Gotham, Superman the Animated Series was a great show that ran for I think maybe 3 or 4 seasons, and it was a great follow up to Batman the Animated Series, and especially when we even got to. I think it was the World's Finest episode when it was a little crossover episode between them and just Superman and
they crossed over more than once.
Well, yeah, I think the first time though, like whenever.
Yeah, it was World's Finest was the first.
Yeah, when Bruce came and had a date with Lois, I think I love it. I love Superman animated series. So that's my show I'm throwing out.
Chris, what do you say about Superman the animated series?
I'm so happy Daddy has brought this up. I love this show. This is my favorite Lex Luthor. Clancy Brown is the best Lex Luthor we ever got in anything. And I love a lot of the Lex Luthor. I like Michael Rosenbaum and I like John Cryer from Supergirl and Lex Luthor. This Clancy Brown's still my favorite Lex Luthor. He's evil, he is smart, he is someone you believe he is Lex Luthor for his way to mannerism. The casting all across the board are great. The animation great villain, great stuff. This first show I watched a lot of kids because Batman animated series. Huge yes for me.
Yeah, and Chris hit on the head right there. I'm sorry, I completely forgot talking about the other villains. Like this was the other Lex Luthor I was talking about. Michael Rosenbaum and Clancy Brown are my two favorite Lex Luthors. Even though he looked like Billy Zane in the show, to me, I feel like he should have been played by Billy
You say
Zane.
that like it's a bad thing.
No, it's not a bad thing. And to me, this Lex Luthor will always be. I don't care what anybody says. The first black Lex Luthor on TV. Period. That was a black man. But I love how Clancy Brown portrayed Lex Luthor. Like, just loved it. I'm sorry. Continue. Yeah, Malcolm.
Yeah, I mean, I'll keep this short. I've seen various things with Clancy Brown's Lex Luthor. I enjoy him as Lex Luthor, but I still really like Michael Rosenbaum better.
Oh, yeah.
Gene Hackman. What are you people
yeah.
Gene Hackman is good.
I just haven't seen Superman the animated series.
Yeah.
Wait, who's surprised? I'd be more surprised if you saw this one. You didn't see Batman, and I'd be like, "Wait, how the fuck did that
doesn't. I'm not sure.
But anyway, Matt, what do you say about Superman the animated series?
Well, guys, if you know me, you know I have just a disdain for the character of Superman. So obviously, I've never seen the show. No, I'm kidding. Obviously, he's my favorite, and I love this show. I adore this series. It's great. Dana Delaney is top 3 Lois Lanes for me. She is incredible. It's a shame she never got to play Lois Lane in live action. I think that's and that's a shame of a lot of different people. Like I think Christopher McDonald is one of the best Jor-Els out there. He's wonderful. Even if sometimes I think of Sheer McGavin lines when I watch episodes with him in it. Yeah, it's a really great show. I think it was sometimes the antithesis to Batman the Animated Series. So Batman the Animated Series was very dark. Superman was very light, both literally and figuratively, and I like that, especially when the characters would cross over. You would see that. Yeah, the show is really, really great. I think the opening I think it's a 2-parter. It might be a 3-parter, but the last time Krypton, it's wonderful. I like how it's very Superman the movie to how it starts with Krypton, then it goes to his teen years, and then it catches up with him as an adult, just starting the Daily Planet, which I'm sure they probably were thinking of. Yeah, and Clancy Brown's a great Lex Luthor, even if he's not my favorite. He's still wonderful. Yeah, the show gets a yes from me.
And Tim,
and a great theme by the
animated series.
I do disagree. Like I said, 93 best Lex Luthor. But thank you, Matt, for bringing up Gene Hackman. I'm surprised no one has yet. I'm even mad at myself.
Tim, do you know why the number 200 is so vitally important?
Why?
Because it's Otis's weight and my IQ.
Great. But I do disagree with Matt on one fact of I think it's going to get a yes from me, but here's what I'm saying. What Batman animated series did was bring smarter, more mature stories to children. And Superman the animated series, yes, it was lighter than Batman the animated series by far, but it was still more mature compared to past animated of the 70s with, especially like Justice League, Super Friends, a lot of the kiddie-oriented of villain of the day, lesson of the day.
Better than the 80s animated Superman show.
Yeah,
less said about that, the better, though.
Yes, but I do agree it did bring more smarter stories to the forefront with Superman the animated series, just like Batman did. So that is where I disagree on that part. But yeah, I would say this would go on there.
Oh, when I said lighter, I didn't mean stories. I just meant like tone wise.
No,
like,
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I just I think Batman kind of started that with the shows with the superheroes by themselves later on. For at least the big ones, it brought those more mature storylines, but you could still bring that because that's what Superman is. That like Christopher Reeve's Superman of that lighthearted. It wasn't like what we saw with the Snyderverse of
it's
Superman
fun
being
to be a superhero.
Exactly.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, like it's not a drag on my life. I kind of enjoy this.
Yeah.
Once again, we welcome you to listening to our Superman discussion during this episode of Rango. Please join us for the next derailment. Will it be another making fun of New Zealand television? We don't know. We'll have to see.
But Chris, what is your next nomination?
So continuing on the train of animated, I'd like to bring up one of my favorite recent DC animated show. This is a show that when you heard about it, this sounded like ridiculous. Why would you make a show about this character and had this voice actress in it? But I think it's one of the most funniest DC shows there ever is. I think the voice cast is amazing. I think they're great. And my favorite LGBT relationship in a show. I had to bring up the Harley Quinn animated show. I think this is one of the more fun, insane, like shock value, some humor. But my favorite characters like Harley Quinn, my favorite Poison Ivy, one of my favorite Joker. Alan Tudyk is a really good Joker in it. Like the stuff with him, what they do with his character, I think is really good. Him becoming the mayor of Gotham by the end of the most recent season, that's a pretty ingenious scene. I like Bruce Wayne, like he is like a man-child in this show a little bit, and it like him and outfit stuff is pretty funny. Clayface is great. King Shark is phenomenal. The stuff with King Shark is hysterical at point. The police station thing being one of the more funny, like I can't believe they go there moments. Yeah, this is a great show. They have no business of being what it is, especially when you have the Penny for the Big Bang doing the voice of Poison Ivy on Harley Quinn, but she is phenomenal. Lake Bella, great Poison Ivy. Yeah, this is my favorite thing for DC in years, and I can't wait for the next season. I love the Valentine's Day one that came out recently. And Chad, I agree with my favorite version of Bane. I agree with his hatred for Chad.
But yeah, I have only seen the first 2 seasons of Harley Quinn. I've still yet to see the third and the recent special. But out of the animated TV shows I've seen, I think Kaylee Cuoco is the best at Harley Quinn in animated form. Especially the best one is voiced by a Big Bang Theory cast member as well, because the person that played Bernadette voiced Harley Quinn in one of the animated movies. But yeah, based on what I've seen, I enjoy this. I'm actually going to give it a slight no. I lie. I'll go with yes. Matt, what do you say about Harley Quinn?
Real quick, Matt, before you say something, I just want to say for anybody watching and listening, my client, Mr. Malcolm, did watch this legally via Friends HBO Max, because even though HBO Max is not available in New Zealand, he was able to watch this through a Friends HBO Max. So this was not watched via piracy. No way, no how. To you, Matt.
In the real court of law, real quick, it's still piracy. Go ahead. Matt's looking at the legal terms.
No, I'm not looking up legal terms. I'm looking to see if The Flash 1990 is, in fact, on HBO Max, because if so, Malcolm has no excuse. But regardless, that's not important right now. What's important is I can't comment on a show I've never seen, so I have to say no.
You got to see the Harley Quinn.
And actually, I'll say, the first 2 seasons of Harley Quinn was randomly put on Netflix for me. So
Malcolm's like, yes, I stole HBO Max for nothing, but thanks for the content.
Well, I mean, it's either Netflix or it's a New Zealand centric one, which does put on a lot of like HBO Max originals.
What do they call it? The one stream or
It's just
one
called Neon.
stream to rule them all.
But Tim, what do you say about Harley Quinn?
Well, thank you, Malcolm, as you cleared up your legal terms so the New Zealand Secret Service doesn't arrest you.
Right.
If we hear that, I'll fucking lose it. But anyway,
was Birds of Prey worth it? And Malcolm's like, no, it wasn't.
anyways, I would say it's going to be a no for me. Granted, it is very good for modern times, but I think in a list of 12, I would put it in a top 20, maybe a top 15. But for a top 12, I think there's a lot more shows that we're probably going to bring up that are probably going to go in there. So I would say for like a top 15, top 20, yes, but not for my top 12.
Zedius, what do you say about Harley Quinn?
I kind of feel I'm kind of right there with Tim. If it was if it would have been a longer list, like probably top 20, or even if it was just an animated superhero or animated show,
just like an animated setting, yeah,
exactly, based off a list based off animated shows based off comic books. It would definitely most likely be on that type of list. But I definitely think in the show in the list that has both the like live action and anime, can't put it in the top 12 just yet. I love the first 2 seasons were great. I do still need to catch up on season 3, but I gotta say no for now. And hopefully in 2 years, maybe like next time we do a redux of this list, maybe it will pop up higher for me.
I can't remember. What did you say, Matt?
Me? Oh, I haven't seen it. So I said
yeah.
no.
So unfortunately, Harley Quinn doesn't make this list.
Matt derails the show so much I forget when he participates. In it.
That was more of a case you're busy looking on HBO Max for the Flash. I can't remember.
The legal notes on Malcolm's story.
Matt, I will say you love the Batman animated series. You will like Harley Quinn alive very much.
I'll get around to it.
Yeah.
When it ends, I'll watch it like 5 years after.
Yeah.
But anyway, for my next show I'm going to bring up, it does have John Wesley Chip in it. It is part of the Arrowverse. It is Stargirl.
Only one I haven't seen.
But yeah, I mean, look, there's only 3 seasons of this, but each episode is really good, and it's just one of those ones that I believe the creators decided to end it where they did, because they knew if there was a chance it might have been cancelled anyway, because this was around the time everything else was just being cancelled last year. But look, and I really hope they find a way to, because I believe the character that plays Stargirl is popping up in this final few episodes of Titans. I think it's confirmed she's coming up in the final season of Flash at some stage. But yeah, like Luke Wilson, Amy Smart is in this. But Stargirl is just a really good show. And just sort of seeing this show, which is on the most part like really. It's not really connected to the Arrowverse, but in a way it is, because they do use John and Ship as an alternate Earth's version of Jay Garrick. And you've got John McHale as Sylvester Pemberton, and that. But this is just one of those ones, like every season was about 13 episodes long, and it just kind of fit, and it just really worked. So yes, I think Stargirl is great. And Matt, what do you say about Stargirl?
Look, if your show is about within the span of 5 to 10 years old, it's very likely I have not seen it. I have not seen Stargirl, but everything you say gets me interested. A lot of those guest stars are actors that I really love and other things, so I will definitely at some point watch it. What that point is, I don't know. Between now and the end of my life, maybe.
Tim, what do you say about Stargirl?
I don't know if they have streaming services in the afterlife, Matt, but
I think it depends on which one you go to.
It's the most funniest episode I've been on in a while.
If you go to the other one, you just get Lucifer.
I think with Stargirl, I'm gonna say no because it just I didn't even have it in my top 20. Honestly, it was a fine show, but it just doesn't resonate with me all that well. It was just like I saw it, but it wasn't something I put in my top 20.
Zedius, what do you say about Stargirl?
I enjoyed all 3 seasons of the show, and it's teetering on the edge for me. But I'm gonna go ahead and push it over just in case I need it for whenever we come to listening it.
It's gonna be the last one.
I'm not saying no or not, but I did like the show a lot. I thought Brett Bassinger did this great as Courtney. I think everybody else in the show, Luke Wilson, Amy Smart, I think everybody was great in it. And the best characters to me were Paula and I forgot Larry Kroc, who played Sportsmaster in Tigers. The way that they were able to chew up scenery, but it wasn't in a bad way. They were meant to be campy, and they played that to perfection. To where something happened in season 3, it truly pissed me off and it truly made me mad, which I think was the perfect point for it. And I think they, even though it might not have been their decision, I think they wrapped up the show with a nice little bow. So and hopefully we'll see Courtney again, or have Brett playing her in like Titans, or maybe if she comes up on the Flash or whatnot. But I give it a yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to make him because Chris gave it away at the start of the whole discussion.
I have not seen it, so it's been on my list to watch. It kind of came out around the time I kind of gave up on the Everest a little bit. It kind of came back to it a little bit now. It's another show. But yeah, it's on my list because I heard a lot of people are good, so I will check out eventually.
Yeah, and I'll say, like, it's the show that made me realize Amy Smart was still around because she really hasn't done a lot.
Yeah.
Because
but she doesn't really need to do a lot. It's Amy Smart.
I mean, just looking at her filmography now, a lot of the stuff, like she appeared in some random appearances of the reboot of MacGyver. She was in one episode of Law and Order Special SVU, and then
everybody does one episode of SVU.
I'm not really
I think
the
the last show she was in that she was a big role and was probably Shameless, which she played Jasmine on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But with that, Matt, we go to you for your next nomination.
Okay. Going with this show that I hope people have seen. I know it's on HBO Max.
Which one?
So hopefully people have seen what
I really
is
want to vote for you, Matt.
Still my favorite Superman show. It might be surpassed by another, but for right now, it's still talking about 1993 to 1997's Lois and Clark, the New Adventures of Superman. Yeah, I love this show. Dean Cain and Terry Hatcher, wonderful as Lois and Clark, respectively, and they're two of my favorites. This show I really like how he's still Superman, but this was the first time where they really wanted to make Clark Kent the full defined character and not just the alternate identity. And they did a great job of that. They really sort of, even the relationship, I really like how they build it through the first 2 seasons and then everything that happens with them when they get married in season 3 is wonderful. The Lex Luthor in this show is fantastic. He's great. It stinks he's only around for the first season, but that also left the door open to where they were to bring in a lot of other great Superman villains and also create their own. This show is far more fun. It does have some drama to it, but its main its main want and desire is to just have fun. And with a character like Superman, you can do that. And Terry Hatcher's Lois Lane is very, if you love Ninja Turtles, she's very April O'Neil-ish in the show, to where she's just gonna, for the story, she's gonna go in somewhere. She's probably gonna get kidnapped, but it's okay because Superman's gonna save her. And it also has one of my favorite like TV themes, so much so that I bought it on iTunes because I love it. So yeah, Lois and Clark, New Adventures of Superman.
Tim, what do you say about Lois and Clark?
You fucking son of a. This is literally going to be my next suggestion. I hate you, Matt. I hate you right now. But you're right. It's one of the greatest, or I think one of the greatest live actions with Superman. Especially, it was around that time where you start to like girls, and I mean Terry Hatcher, just oh my god. But I do think one of the best lovable characters on that show was Jimmy Olsen. I really do, and my favorite part was after we got past with the building of the relationship with Lois and Clark, which of course you're going to have that. I love the Krypton arc when new Krypton, I guess.
When they came to become their king, and and the sister from Family Ties is the queen.
Yeah. And I love that arc. I loved that show so much. It's just great. So yeah, it's a resounding yes from me. I just hate that Matt brought it up right before I was going. Fuck it.
Zedius, what do you say about Lois and Clark?
It's a definitely yes for me. Wow, John Shea wasn't John Shea. I think Shea. I think so.
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
Wasn't my favorite Lex Luthor. He was definitely. I think he definitely helped get that role started for me when I was a kid, and I thought Dean Cain was great as Clark and Superman both. And then I think him and Terry Hatcher's chemistry was amazing, and Mom Park Kent in the show were like apple pie, like warm apple pie. You have to love them as his parents, and I think that they of course they were made better than other shows, of course, but of course Smallville being my favorite. But I mean, this was kind of like the pioneer of Superman in my eyes, and plus it had one of my favorite moments probably in like all of Superman history. I think it was Tippis when he was telling Lois about the secret identity. He's like, "Look at me, glasses on. I'm Clark Kent. Glasses off. I'm Superman. Glasses on. Glasses off. Clark Kent. Glasses off. Superman." Like, duh. I'm like, yes, thank you. It's so stupid. So yeah, this show was great.
Chris, what do you say about Lois and Clark?
So this was kind of when I was young, so I never got around to watching this. This has been on my list of shows to watch for DC for a while. I thought I was kind of like a kid when this came out. Like, so you had young, and in real life, I was only 31 years old. But yeah, on my list, I think Matt made mention to the other shows, so I might be bring that up a little bit later. But yeah.
I don't even remember what I say when I talk about Superman. And my brain just does.
But the show very similar to it. I do like and what brought me back to the other list a little bit.
Oh, now I know what I was referring to.
I mean, I was also just a kid in the 90s, and I have seen Lois and Clark.
Excuse me, this show ended a couple months before I was born, and I've seen every episode.
You young people.
I think I'm the oldest one here, Malcolm. Calm down.
Now, I just watched the first X-Men movie, Malcolm, and the way you said that just reminds me of Magneto. When he's like,
I mean, in this year, I'm almost 40 years old.
But Malcolm, Lois and Clark.
I mean, like, this is. I know I've seen at least the first season. I don't think I've seen the other ones. And I don't know why. Maybe I was just pissed they killed off Lex Luthor after the first season.
They didn't. He killed himself off.
Yeah.
Well, I know there was backstage drama for that character, the actor anyway, but it's just, I think it was just one of those ones like, because with me as a kid knowing that Lex Luthor is like Superman's big villain, I think it's just one of those ones seeing him being taken off out of the first season, just kind of maybe I don't know, but anyway, like I did say to myself I was going to say yes to what made my top 15. Unfortunately, Lars and Clark did not. So I'm going to say no.
Why'd you do that to me? You could just said no, but you
Yeah.
knew what you were doing. You're like, I
mean,
said to myself, I was going to say what
technically
made my
made-
top 15. This
I mean-
didn't
I mean,
make
it-
my top 15, but I
it
just
still made
I
the list,
want
right?
you all to know.
Besides, it's made the list. I knew it was going to make the list regardless.
Oh, it did? All right, then never mind. Whatever, Malcolm.
Mel was ready to defend it. He's ready to fight.
Sorry, Viggo Mortensen didn't pop up and walk for 5 hours. Then you would have watched all 4 seasons, huh?
Anyway, Tim, what's the next show you're going to bring up?
I mean, I flash forward through Frodo and Sam's love affair to get through to the good parts. But
Whoa.
anyway, since
was
Matt
it
stole
Joe?
my
We're not going
thunder,
to pay everyone and button to make jokes on this.
since
show
Matt
about
stole
this.
my thunder with Lois and Clark, which I will never forgive you for. I hate you now. I
Why
hope
would
you
you hate
don't
me?
enjoy. I hope you don't enjoy once and forever the 30th anniversary Power Rangers special. Anyways,
Well, Austin St.
With
John's
that-
not in it, so probably won't.
yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Fucking
Anyways,
Rocky.
since that's off the list now, I'm going to bring up another one that got me into the DC universe at the start of it, which I love it because I love darker tones with shows, and this one was really a darker tone that got me hooked right away, and that would be 2012's Arrow, with Stephen Amell as, I think, a great actor regardless, and I think a great Oliver Queen, and Hood, Arrow, Green Arrow, his evolution of that character throughout. So I would throw in the Arrow.
But Zedius, what do you say about Arrow?
You see what you did, Matt? You started the trend of the person before you taking the show that you were about to say. Literally, it's about to be my next show. It's about to be my next show, Tim. I was thinking like we've gone too far, dude. We had 6 shows, or we had not said Arrow. We got need to say Arrow. So there it goes. But it's a definite yes for me. 100% yes. It's like my number 2. I have no problem saying that. Like my number 2 favorite DC show of all time. I love this show. Like hell, I was the Arrowverse champion for fandom. I used it as all my use it most of the time as my strengths.
Yeah, I think for most of your
TV
matches,
Jordan,
yeah.
like I think maybe every match, and I love this show. Like while all seasons weren't 100% great, season 7, looking at you, season 3, oh my god. But I think they wrapped this show up. And I wish other shows, especially The Flash right now, could take some pointers from the way season 8 ended, and the way Arrow handled this final season was chef's kiss, and I think it was a great way to end it. And I loved it. Loved the show. Yes.
But Chris, what do you say about Arrow?
So I'm torn at this because I think, as much I love the first 2 seasons of Arrow, I love the season with season 5. I think with the guy trying to ruin Oliver Queen's life. Yeah, it's a bad season of this show. That really, the Raw Gold season. Look at you.
Season 3. That's the best.
So let's see. The villain that was connected to Felicity. Look at you, season. You know, with the hack, but her father, everything, but not that great. Like, but I do love the show. I think, and Stephen Amell is great. My second favorite is Slade Wilson. Right, with my new Bennett. We'll bring up the other one when we get to it. But I love Felicity. I love I love everybody. Introduce the Arrowverse to us. You know, I think that's better than the other Arrowverse show. If someone might be upset because they had more good seasons than bad season, but yeah, I would give it a slight yes. I think the good outweigh the bad, and it's strong, and they were great emotional moments, and best version Slade in live action. We'll see.
But yeah, I mean, like for me, like there's only when it comes to Arrowverse, like there's only a few shows where I always sort of had to make sure I saw before spoilers started leaking out online. The Arrow is one of them. The other one is probably going to come up later. But yeah. And I actually disagree with Thaddeus. I think I actually didn't like what they did with the final season, because I think for the most part of that, like a lot of that final season was more set up to Crisis.
Well, Crisis, yeah.
And I just don't think it worked as well. I think if it was just like a standalone series or something, and so I think had that final season been a little bit better, it might have actually passed what my personal number one it is, but it just didn't. But yeah, but still, I really love Arrow. It's still going to be an easy yes for me. But Matt, what do you say about Arrow?
Sorry, to be very honest, I've seen quite a few episodes of Arrow. When he crosses over with people, and those episodes are requirements to see how stories continue and or end. When it comes to the show itself, I have actually only seen the first 2 episodes of the first season. It's just one of those things to where I got introduced to the Arrowverse by The Flash, and I was really enjoying that. And and obviously then I was seeing crossover episodes between them. I was like, oh, I'll watch Arrow. And I watched the pilot. I was like, oh, that's pretty good. Watch the next episode, and then it just kind of fell to the wayside, and I've never gone back and seen it again. And so I don't think I could properly judge a show just based off of its crossover episodes. Stephen Amell's really good, and I liked Felicity. But yeah, sorry.
Captain Buckle.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those ones like my main gripe with the Arrowverse is more of a case of when you buy the DVDs, you have to play switch DVD to find which episode is the first part of crossover.
That was even when the shows were on Netflix, and I wanted to watch like Crisis on Earth X.
Yeah,
I'd have to go through you can't just Warner Brothers. Listen to me.
You can't carry
just release DVDs and Blu-rays of the crossovers, and we'll buy them. Because I gotta say, I love Crisis on Infinite Earths. I'm not buying season 5 of Supergirl for the one fucking part. Okay,
Supergirl not that bad.
No, it's nothing to do with quality of the show. It's just I'm not paying for a whole season for one episode.
Just watch ZDS's next nomination be Supergirl.
A great left loose there. That might give Supergirl a lot better.
I will say, though, I think it was smart of them at the time for a TV format to make you pay attention with everything to at least.
Oh, it was brilliant marketing. Brilliant.
Yeah,
when it comes to the whole release, they should have understood that it'd be better.
But in the time we're at now, I think more with everything streaming, they don't really focus too much on DVD releases like they used to years ago.
I'm still mad.
I'll let you name the Doctor Who
and you put it all into you were going to be able to see Crisis in theaters as a movie, but then COVID had to go and ruin it.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, like, Warner Brothers are still releasing the seasons of the DVDs.
Yeah, they're still putting them out on DVD.
But I'll let you name it Doctor Who. They won't compile like TV special into one thing.
Yeah.
I mean, Doctor Who isn't Warner Brothers anyway.
That would be BBC.
Yeah, I mean, I think like
how did we start talking about Doctor Who?
I think Chris mentioned
about
Oh, did he? Because it's just like, why is
Doctor Who?
Doctor Who?
Doctor Who is the only one that would compile like special into one DVD. I'm like,
I mean, it's one of those ones like. And last thing point is that I think Warner Bros. Could make a lot of money if they released the crossover specials, even like one DVD set of these crossovers. Each crossover has maybe.
They probably will do that at the Flash is over.
Because I'm saying Flash, I think is the last of the shows that was a part of those crossovers.
See, I don't think they will, because if they would, they would have done it by now. Because you had, what was it, season 2 of Arrow with season 1 of Flash, or was it season 3 and 1?
Yeah. Well,
It was 3 and 1, I think.
Yeah,
But
If that was your first crossover, you could have done a special with that, and they never
But I
did.
think the thing is they might have been waiting until just to see if there was another one. Then they're like, oh, okay, all those shows are done now.
Yeah,
Well,
with
or they just
Superman and
don't
Lois
get it.
being the only ones
That's
still
probably
going.
more likely.
well,
reason.
yeah. I mean, the last thing I will
James Gunn,
say
we're
before-
looking at you.
I mean, the last thing I will say on this, like, I
I'm
think
gonna
Tim's
tweet him
right.
right
I think
now.
if they were going to release a box set of all the crossovers, they would have done it by now. Because if there's going to be any more crossovers in this season of the Flash, it will all be on the Flash DVD when it eventually comes out.
It would be to save the Flash.
But anyway, Zedius, what is your next nomination?
It's sad that there was a moment in time that I would have nominated this show with ease and joy in my heart, but the last couple of seasons have.
Okay.
You know what? Yeah, you know what? Let's think about the happier times of the Flash, of how it was introduced to us.
Had it been
Yep, in
What, the first
1990.
3?
Oh wait,
the first 2 and maybe moments here and there?
Let's remember the happier times of the Flash 2014 edition with Grant Gustin, Candace Patton, who I never understood why she got so much hate, but that's neither here nor there. I think this show was a great show. Emphasis on the was, and while some people will hate certain seasons, like season 5, I love season 5. I love the introduction of SS. Season 6, definitely 7. Oh my God, 8 was better. And while some of the seasons haven't been great, they went toward the latter half. I think it came off strong. First season, second season was amazing in my eyes. The way Zoom drug-based ads across the whole city and show his battered body to everybody. Like, this show got right here, and just drug his ass around town was amazing. I think about the happy times when it comes to the Flash, and so that's why I'm nominating the Flash. Hopefully, they can wrap up this season with a nice, pretty bow and make it perfection.
Maybe.
Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive.
But Chris, what do you say about the Flash?
First 2 seasons are great. I will give it that. I think Grant Gustin's great. I think the cast is overall really good. I loved the one that the guy for Rent, and I forget his name all of a sudden.
Tom Cavanaugh?
Guy who played
No.
Joe.
Sorry.
Oh, what's his fucking name?
Colin for Rent. What's his name?
Jesse L. Martin.
Yeah, amazing. I love he had the glue that held out the later season. Like, I see him.
Yes.
His relationship with Barry is really good. I wish I could do without. I like Patty a little bit better in terms of relationship. That went elsewhere. But I think Catherine is great. I think Cisco is really good. I really hate they got rid of them. They just disappear off the show after a while. I think Tom Cavanaugh is also the best thing that kept the show going for a while. But I hate to think of an episode. I hate freaky that Evil Barry season, or like that
season 3.
season. Yeah. DeVoe were really bad. I did some stuff I don't like. How many spots we had left?
We have 5 spots left, I think, right?
Yeah.
4.
We have 5 spots left.
Oh no, 5. You're right. I can't do math.
There are a bunch of more shows read. I did give a slight no because I much love the first season. I much love Grant Gustin. Have a bunch of other teams. There are some really bad seasons. I think they're better in a first show to bring up here than the Flash.
Yeah, I'm with Zedius here. Like, I loved I've been enjoying every episode of The Flash. Like, there used to be a day where me and Matt would get on a call and discuss that episode, that night's episode. And then Matt stopped watching, and
You had a great, fun memory. Why'd you have to go and spoil it like that, Malcolm?
But throw Matt under the bus.
Yeah. I mean,
he said that to me a
given
few
this
times.
stream, understandable. Fair enough.
But yeah, I mean, I'm actually enjoying this like the last season, because I actually did enjoy the arc from the Red Death. And while I don't think it's finished, I think it's still going to like that. It's still somewhat going to continue. So I don't think this is the last we've seen a Red Death for sure. But and I mean, and I know like the creator has said that like the reason they developed the finale of season 8 was because they thought they were going to get cancelled because of everything else that was being cancelled last year.
It was great.
And so yeah, I'm going to say yes. Matt, what do you say about the Flash?
So I'm in a weird spot because, as Malcolm said, I watched the show until a little after Crisis. It was just one of those things to where like an episode, I think it was Tuesdays at 8 is when it would be on, and I'd be doing something. I'd be like, oh, I'll get caught up next week, and then next week come, and I'd be like, and then before I knew it, like most of the rest of the season happened. I'm like, well, okay, I guess I'll get caught up when it comes out on Netflix, and I have not watched the show since. But so that's where I'm just like, can I really say yes to a show that I haven't seen in its entirety?
Think of the happier times.
But and this is the thing.
I'm trying to think of a happier time, and then I think a bad.
I'm going to give it a yes because season 2 of The Flash is one of my favorite seasons of television I've ever watched. I think that season with the villain, with the relationship with his greatest love, Patty, I don't give a shit about Iris.
Thank you, man.
It was firing on all cylinders, and it's still. I've honestly, genuinely, because it still is on Netflix. I've a couple times thought about watching season 2 over again, which I used to do all the time. So I'm going to give it a yes just because of that. And like Malcolm said, yes, I do. Those were very fun times to where the episode would end, and then me and Malcolm would hop on a Skype call and talk about the episode, especially the season with I think it was season 4 with the like brain villain. I remember you and me.
that
He's
season.
gonna go to prison. I think he's gonna go to prison. I remember so many of those nights. So yeah, but yeah, literally, I'm saying yes to The Flash season 2.
I think that's the first 2 seasons, but the rest of it.
And Tom Cavanaugh is fantastic, and John Wesley Shipp as well. I got to bring up, and they brought back Mark Hamill as the trickster, so points for that.
But Tim, what do you say about The Flash?
Think you had a bad time, Tim?
Oh, that's really all I can think about because there's more bad times than there is good times, Chris. This is where me and you are in fucking agreement for this. I mean, granted, every DC show has its good and bad. We can say that for everyone. We can say that for Arrow. We can say that for Flash. We can say that for Legends. We can say that for Black
Lightning.
Yeah. Oh my
God.
Yeah, you can say it for a lot. I think for the Flash, there was just a lot more bad, and I think it should have ended a lot sooner. Like they could have ended it in high notes to go forward with other shows, and I think it's just one of those where it's just drug on too long. Yes, there are good things. Tom Cavanaugh is one of the best mentors / villains I think they had with building up Barry, and then you find out that reason of because he hates him in the future. I don't like the new Tom Cavanaugh with Earth 2 Tom Cavanaugh.
You don't like Harry?
No, I don't. Compared to the original, no.
I've been so behind. I thought Harry died a while ago. I remember.
No,
it's going to be no for me because it's just too much bad. Granted, there is a lot of good. I think I do agree with you, Matt. Season 2 is one of the best superhero showings that you've seen that we have seen in a while. There's just too much bad for me.
And genuinely, like, and I've told people, I'm like, you don't even need to see season. Like, obviously, watch season 1, but it's not like super required.
I still say season 3 is even.
Season
3 is even good, but
yeah, season 3 was.
It
wasn't horrible, but
it wasn't season 2. Season
season
2 was
2,
your high
it
note.
was just like it's.
And I
You know
think
what season 3 is? It's Return of the Jedi. You're good.
why
but you're
I say
following
no,
something
That's
incredible.
not a good comparison.
and why I say no, they shot their load too early with season 2. They could have had build it up and then have like season 3 or season 4 have their high note,
Black
and
Point.
you have a different story. But I think they shot it too early with season 2 of being so good. I think that was a big downfall for them.
Yeah.
Also,
Flashpoint should
Flashpoint
definitely have a
Irish
layer
in charge
too.
of Team Flash. What the hell were you guys thinking? I don't even watch the show, Malcolm. I'm still not over this. I'm still not over that decision.
Matt,
Freaking
you're me.
failed journalist. Jesus.
Matt, you're me, and a
took Rose
patty
and Clark
thing
so
right
short.
here.
High five.
But anyway, the Flash still makes the list.
You gotta put again when we rank this. You gotta put an asterisk. Matt voted just for season 2.
Hey, you need a number 12 show. Remember that. So,
but anyway,
We already
Chris,
had that
we go to you.
Smallville.
What is your next nomination?
Okay, we have 4 spots left. You know what? Don't bring up because I made reference to it. One of my favorite animated show that ended too soon. Fuck you, Cartoon Network, for canceling it at the 5 season. What my season says, it's Teen Titan. This is to me one of the most. It's silly, yes, but it also mature in the way it does with the string like very terror, the stuff with Raven and her father, and the stuff with Beast Boy and the Doom Patrol stuff. Yeah, I might bring up the other show later. Stay tuned. But this is, to me, great animation, great voice acting. Ron Perlman is the existential Slade Wilson to me. He brings this menacing creepiness voice to Slade, and he is scary as hell. Like the stuff with him and Tara, the way he manipulates her and abuse her, and season 4 with Raven and everything, with her father and everything. It's great. Season 3 is the weakest season, but the stuff with Cyborg is also really good. The stuff they do with that. And I love season 5, despite I don't like the ending of the show. I think that's not a great way to end the show. I wish they had gave more answers to the terror scene and the other scene. And I think they should end in 1 episode early. Because everything is so good. Great villain, great cast. I love the Teen Titan. I love the side character. I love Kid Flash. I love everything they introduced. And I love what they do with Robin. The way they hint at Batman, but don't use Batman in there. That's probably really clever. Especially when they go into his mind a little bit. You see little flashes of Batman. Yeah. Teen Titan is the second best DC animated. Second to third best. At the any other day, Dan Harley Quinn back, of course. But yeah, it is. I love Teen Titan.
So yeah, I don't know if Batman the Animated Series ever aired on Cartoon Network, but I never really watched Cartoon Network as a kid. So I haven't seen the OG Teen Titans. I've seen Teen Titans Go, but I haven't seen the OG Teen Titans.
Yep. Oh man.
I mean, and look, Teen Titans Go is a guilty pleasure of mine, but I'm not going to bring it up. But
Movie
what
is that best, but the show sucks.
Like they do one thing in that movie that I've seen a clip of that I tip my hat to for a children's
Stanley.
film.
The Stanley cameo.
I mean,
No.
I mean, all of us are the wrong age to enjoy Teen Titans Go. To be fair.
Yeah.
Look, my cousin loved that show. He was like 4 when it came out, so I watched it and he loved it, and I was like, but I get it. It's not for us. I get it. But again, I tip my hat to. I'll just say it right now. I tip my hat to when they go back in time and they throw Thomas and Martha Wayne into the alley to get shot. I saw that and I went, I'm ready to watch this movie based solely on that and Nick Cage being Superman. Haven't watched the movie yet, though.
And Stanley appearing in the DC movies.
As the distinguished competition.
I'm so sorry, Malcolm.
But anyway, I was going to you, Nick. What do you say about Teen Titans?
When there's trouble, you know who to call. Teen Titans, from their tower, they can see it all. When there's evil on the attack, you can rest knowing they have your back. Because when the world needs heroes, who it all, Teen Titans go. And you all knew when the Japanese one, when it would be the Japanese intro, you knew shit was about to go down. When it'd be like, I'd be like, oh, we're about to see Robin be evil and attack the Titans. Yeah, I love the show. This was one of the first series that I caught on. I don't think I saw the pilot, but I caught on to it very early on and followed it all the way to the end. And yeah, maybe it didn't end as strong as it should have. But man, there's so many great things in this show. Slade is incredible. That calm voice he had when he would talk to Robin. And you're right that the subtle hints. One of my favorites is in the episode when he's become his apprentice at the end. He's fighting him. He's just like, I could have been like a father to you. He's like, I already have a father. And you see the bats fly up behind Robin. That was just awesome. And the characters and I just love the way they all played off each other. You had the romance between Robin and Starfire, which was great because it was one of those things to where like both kind of knew, but both didn't know the other one felt the same way, which is always nice to see. The friendship between Cyborg and Beast Boy was wonderful. And all the different side characters they introduced, Titans East, like all those characters, all the villains they had throughout the show were incredible. And the show did lean more into the silly sometimes, but when it got serious, it genuinely in a Batman the Animated Series way, it knew that the audience was going to understand, like the Red X episode the first time, to where it's this thing to where Robin betrayed the trust of his team. And like even as a kid, I understood that's like, well, he did it with purpose because he needed Slade to believe all this stuff.
You haven't wasted the episode.
Yeah, this show's freaking awesome. And one of my favorite episodes was the TV episode where they go into the TV.
Yeah.
And Beast Boy has to guide them through everything. Yeah, I love this show.
Yeah.
But Tim, what do you say about Teen Titans?
I can see why people would bring it up, like what Matt touched on earlier. It resonated with certain demographics, the younger ones. Like whenever I would watch my cousin's kid, he would love it. He was little at the time, but he also liked SpongeBob. But I mean, it touched a lot of younger people. I think I'm just too old for it to really.
Yeah, like people who are
okay.
my age range, this was like our superhero show.
Yeah, for people my age range, is like okay, yeah, whatever.
Like you guys had Batman. We have Titans. Yeah.
We have our own things we think about more. I can see it for a younger generation. I mean, for me, no, because I'm too old for it. But a lot of younger people love this show. Like I would talk to hours with Coho at times, behind the scenes in the early days when we were writing fandom, and he loved it. So I can understand the appeal for it. For me, I was just too old for it, so it'd be a no for me. But I can understand the appeal for it.
And Zedius, what do you say about Teen Titans?
On you, Danny.
It is on me. So much power. This is one of those shows that I haven't seen every episode of, but every episode that I used to watch after school or something or on the weekends, I liked. And I can't give a no to that. I'm going to say yes to Teen Titans because I enjoyed every time I would watch episode. It was great. I thought it was fun. I thought the animation looked very good, and I always remember. I remember it being either India or being canceled. And then I remember being in college thinking like, saying, "Oh, they got Teen Titans back." Teen Titans. No, actually, I graduated already. But like, oh, Teen Titans back on TV. I'm like, oh, Teen Titans go. What the hell is this shit? And that was that seemed like this is not the Teen Titans. I'm good. No. So
now I'm just imagining that moment to where Zaddy sits down at the TV. He's so excited. He's like, Teen Titans is back. It's Teen Titans go and literally go, what the hell is this?
Yeah, it's like so.
That
so
is my
weird.
reaction to every time they reboot something like Powerpuff Girls. I'm like, what the fuck am I watching? Nope.
It's kind of like when I got the Ninja Storm.
Need a trailer for the new TJ Ninja Turtle? Nope.
But yeah, with that, Teen Titans does make the list, and it moves over to
number 12.
But we're going to move over to me, I mean, ironically, we've got a lot of superhero shows on here. There is actually one, at least one show here which is not strictly a superhero show. That is falls under DC, and that is iZombie. Look, I really enjoyed iZombie. I think this was a very fun premise. Like this is under the Vertigo imprint, and it's one of those fun premises, but it's basically a police procedural where with the main character eats the brain of the deceased person just to help solve the murder, and she takes on the attributes of that person to help solve it. And it's just a fun premise. And the lead actress is a New Zealander, but hey, I did.
You never saw her older work.
I did hesitate to bring that up when we were talking about Arrow with Manu Bennett, but yeah, it's just a fun premise. I think it's just a really enjoyable, and I loved every episode of this. And it's one of those shows I wish got to have a few extra seasons, but I'm glad it finished when it did as well, because I think they were reaching the point where they were. I think they were getting to a point where they really had nothing more they could do with it as well. But it's also it's created by Rob Marshall, I want to say. No, Rob Thomas, not the guy from Matchbox 20. I don't think.
That's what I was thinking.
It was done by Rob Thomas. He created Veronica Mars and 90210 and stuff like that. I'm not going to lie. When I first was like Rob Thomas from Matchbox 20 is doing a TV show, but I believe they did have Rob Thomas, the actual one, cameo in an episode at some stage. But Matt, have you seen iZombie?
I saw many a promo for it when I used to watch The Flash, but I never got around to watching the show. And Malcolm, you guys just always bring up the New Zealand. I do appreciate that, but it now sets me up for a joke later on.
Tim, what do you say about iZombie?
It's always great to see Power Rangers actresses get jobs after Power Rangers.
Who was she in
I
Power
never
Rangers?
really.
She was
Yeah,
Yellow Ranger.
RPM Yellow Ranger.
Oh, I never got around to
Rose
that one.
MacGyver is her name, Malcolm, or I can never pronounce her.
Rose MacGyver, yeah.
Okay. I can never pronounce her last name right. It was one. Yeah, I watched it. It was okay. I never really thought too much about it. I would say a no because it really doesn't resonate with me too much. It was a nice little show, but it was like, okay, let's see what else is on.
But Zedius, what do you say about iZombie?
Unfortunately, guys, I haven't seen it, and that's mainly because, if I'm not mistaken, I used to watch The Flash, and I think right after I had to switch over to 13 or ABC to watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So it usually came on the wrong time, I never ended up watching it. So yeah.
And
bless
Chris,
your heart, sir, that you were one of the 5 who watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I just watched it too.
Oh, look, we got 3 of the 5. That should have been everyone's favorite show, but it wasn't.
I mean, I watched it right when the Captain America.
But Chris, what do you say about iZombie?
I have not seen it. You got me excited when you said Veronica Mars, and then you killed all my excitement when you said 921. I don't like that.
You didn't have to write a TV match strength with that, so count yourself lucky, Chris.
I love Veronica Mars.
TV shows
with 90210
about Ink Master.
But I do love Veronica Mars, so maybe I will watch it. I will watch it because I love Veronica Mars. I might check out eventually.
But yeah, I mean, some of the shows like we had to write questions for, and the TV is like there's some shows like all out there, like Ink Master is one of them. The random.
Did you ever have to do hardcore?
I heard about
that would have been funny.
Also, I have
show.
about 10 more.
And didn't Alec
It's on
Miller
my
do
list,
Paw Patrol at one stage?
What was it, Malcolm?
Paw Patrol. I think Alec Miller did a lot
no.
of kids shows.
Oh yeah, that was Alec. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alec Miller. Yeah.
But anyway,
thank you for doing that.
Matt, what was the next TV show you're going to bring up?
So, going back to talking about that, this is a list that comprises, or should comprise, the history of DC. I'm bringing up a show that saved a character from cancellation and brought this character back into the mainstream. This is a show starring American actor Adam West.
Fuck it again.
Either he took Tim's next pick or he really hates this show.
No, you did. You took again. This is the second time you took.
Wait, okay. The thing about this show is some people look at this show surface level and, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood even made fun of, what? Next week it's going to be Batman and Robin? Bang, boom, zoom. This show knows exactly what it was, and it was so smart. It was funny, and it knew it, but the way they produced these episodes was they would shoot an hour-long episode and then just cut it in half to do those cliffhangers. And you look at the actors who came on these shows, these were like actors who either were nominated for awards previously or were going to be nominated awards. And it's a show that I think pop culture has sort of looked back on and been like, oh, remember when Batman was really dumb? And it's not. It's a fun show. It's funny, and that's okay. That's bright. It's colorful. It has fun with itself. Every villain that appears on this show is incredible. The Riddler, Egghead, the Joker, and how when you watch the show in HD, you can clearly see that he did not shave his mustache. It's hilarious. All three Catwomen, the multiple Mr. Freezes. It's incredible, but it pales in comparison to Burt Ward is wonderful, but Adam West, who just took this and again in the great ways that like actors like Leslie Nielsen, a movie like Airplane, it's funny because he's delivering these lines so seriously, and he's incredible. There's a reason why, many Batman actors will come and go, but Adam West is always going to be someone who we always think of as this character. So yeah, let's get to the bat pole, slide on down, and turn minds to speed, and let's put Batman 66 on this list.
Tim's obviously going to say no to spite you now. Tim, what are you going to say?
I was like, he said
thank you very much.
Because he was going real dirty there at the end. This is a PG show, sir. But yeah, this is the second time this little motherfucker has stolen my shit. But yeah, this is, and to touch on what you said, Matt, with just the villains of these were real thespians too. Like you could say, like what you said with the people that would win major awards. These were real thespians, like
Good Master,
Vincent Price.
Yes, they
right.
were really strong theater background people that they brought in to boost the campiness of it. Yes, because it was real campy. But here's the thing: from the '60s, you had a lot of campiness. Like, there were times when William Shatner on Star Trek was real campy, but the '60s was just a magical time for a lot of shows. And Batman at that time was just lightning in a bottle. It was a hit. This is why you had how many movies? What, 3 TV movies or just 2?
I don't know for TV movie. I know they.
I think he had one movie, and then you had.
No, I think it had at least 2.
I mean, they've had I think they've had the 2 animated revitalizations of this series.
No, I could have sworn it had 2 live action.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I only know one of them.
Yeah, I only know the one where it's like all the villains team up.
Yeah, with the submarine.
The 69.
Batman the movie.
But a great show, a great series, a great legacy of live action Batman to start us off. And it was, I was saving that one so bad, but yeah, you can't say no to this. You say no to Adam West's Batman, or you have no soul, sir. You have no damn soul.
Oh, I can.
You have no soul then, sir. But
I have
a
my reason
astounding
why
yes
I
for
would
me.
say no to.
But Zedius, what do you say about Batman of the Batman 60s?
Now that since I got some other shows that I really felt passionate about on the list, I have no problem with saying yes to Batman 66. Only again, kind of with the Teen Titans situation. This is one of those shows I've never seen every episode of, but no episode that I ever watched that I go away feeling bad for wasting my time or nothing. Was it campy, stupid? Yes, but I think that was the point. And like Matt was saying,
That was the appeal.
yeah, that was the appeal of it. Alan West, complete straight man at points, and like it was a great show. And again, yeah, it's 1966. It was the 60s. You can't judge the 60s TV shows based off like what you might see today. If you do that, you're kind of doing yourself a disservice. So
No,
and then just the
I
fact
got
that
my reason.
I'm not
Here
talking,
comes Debbie Downer.
I'm not talking about you, Chris. I promise. But I definitely say I give it a yes for Batman 66. Only because I do think this kind of helped the legacy of Batman, especially when it came to future live action stuff and then animated stuff as well.
But Chris, what do you have to say about Batman 60s?
Okay, let me get my one joke out of the way. I prefer Adam West to Catman in Very Odd Parents. Thank you very much.
TV's Adam West. That was
I
my
had to make
introduction to Adam West was Very Odd Parents.
Yeah, I had to make that one joke right there with that. But I do like the show. Don't get me wrong. I also someone who didn't grow up religiously watching the show like some people did. They watch on TV line when it was on. It was fun. It campy. We have 3 spots left. And I feel like we do get mutilated in a poll. We don't mention too that I know some people do yell at us in the comments. But yeah, it's a great show. Is it campy? Yes. Is it fun? Yes. If it get in, then I don't care. But I just think if we had brought it up earlier, I would have said yeah, it's just 3 spots left. That we're like right down to the line of what I want to get on this list.
I mean, it's already got in. So. I've seen the movie. I haven't got around to actually watching the series. This is another one I actually did think about a long time ago. I'm buying the Blu-ray set of, but I just haven't got around to it. I'll just go down some of the cast, some of the members. Like you had the father of Sean Astin pop up as the Riddler at once. Uncle Ben from the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies played a character called Shame. You had Art Carney, Roddy McDowell was there.
Yep. Yeah, Ryan McDowell, Bookworm, I believe.
Yep.
Liberace was in it.
Burgess Meredith was the Penguin.
Oh yeah,
I know.
I'll try to bring out some of these sort of ones that people probably won't realize, like the big ones. I mean, Bruce Lee played Kato in it.
Yep, that's
Sally
where
the
Green Hornet. I think it's like premiered. They did like the 2-parter with Green Hornet and Kato, and then did the show.
But yeah, there's been a lot of big names, but yeah, and not to mention there's like so many cameos popped up in just the back climbing scenes.
Yeah, that was always the thing was when they would scale the wall, there would always be somebody who would open the window,
pop out the window. Yeah,
what
the fuck?
And Lewis from Adam's Family popped up in one of those. Jerry Lewis.
Huey Lewis?
Jerry Lewis.
Oh, I was like Huey Lewis. I
Jerry
don't
Lewis,
think was a thing in the 60s. I'm good.
And Dick
Clark, baby.
But yeah, I mean, we could go on for ages talking about Batman 60s, but like my introduction to Adam West was Family Guy.
Yeah. I mean,
But,
he's
Somebody
Somebody took the ass from West. Yeah, I had to make that joke.
But
I say you're 145 pounds, 90 pounds. Wrong. I'm 95% helium.
anyway, but we're going to move on to Zedius. Zedius, what is your next nomination?
it's Tim.
Tim.
I know
Yeah.
because Matt
Wow.
still is again.
I get stolen twice, and Malcolm's like, "Fuck you!" Wow.
Yeah, he's like, y'all
Hey,
two share the same.
I got lost in view.
Have we played this game?
Now we're seeing
all
Tim taste mine again.
In all serious now. What's your Zaddy? I'm gonna take it. No, I'm just kidding. This is. I mean, now that we're coming down the list, I really wish I would have brought it up sooner, but I was just trying to get some instant ones on there. This is one I grew up with Batman 66 with TV Land. I had a mom that loved TV Land. I would watch all those old episodes like Get Smart, F Troop, all that good shit. There was one on there that showed it was the first, I think it's the first female-led superhero show. I think.
Oh,
With the lovely Linda Carter. And that was 1975's Wonder Woman with a catchy, cheesy theme, which I'm not going to sing. Yeah, I'm not singing. But I would always love Wonder Woman. It reminded me of a female version of the Great American Hero, if anyone's ever seen that one.
Yeah, but Great American Hero, better theme song.
I know it does, but it really reminded me of that with like the shooting and everything with it. But yeah, I'm gonna bring up Wonder Woman with Linda Carter.
Zedis, what do you say about Wonder Woman from the 70s?
yes, and I'm mad, and I'm shaking my head. Yes, and I'm mad though because I forgot about it, and I'm so sorry to Linda Carter, but this is definitely yes. Hell, that scene in one. Literally, fine. It came out years ago, 84. That was the bright spot of 1984. I'm like, yo, look who it is. Like, so yeah, Wonder Woman, yes. One of the only bright spots in 1984.
Chris,
It was
what do you
actually
say
75
about?
that came out.
No,
he's talking about Wonder Woman
84.
84. The
Oh,
Yeah, her
sorry.
cameo at the very end of like.
Yeah, I try to forget that movie.
So
Yeah,
I have not seen it because that's one of the things I want. Batman and Westmore because that was somewhere when I was growing up. But yeah, we also got your spot left.
Yeah, sadly, this is like a lot of the earlier superhero shows I just haven't got around to seeing. Like this is another one that I really want to see because I've heard a lot of good stuff about it. I just haven't got around to it. But Matt, what do you say about Wonder Woman?
Yeah, this show's fantastic. It's one of those just because I've never owned it. Like Tim, I only on TV Land when I see it. But Linda Carter is so good in the show, and it's a little bit sillier than it's on par with the Incredible Hulk show that was going on around the same time. So, but it's Linda Carter is so good in it, and again, like what we can say about George Reeves as Superman or Adam West as Batman, she took it so seriously, even when she's skateboarding in an episode. Like she takes it seriously, so you take it seriously. And there's a reason why, in which I haven't even seen the movie, but there's a reason why, Wonder Woman 84 brings her back. But the reason why a movie like Sky High makes her the principal, because people still recognize her as Wonder Woman. So yeah, this gets a yes from me.
I believe she was even the president of the United States at one point in Supergirl too.
Oh,
She was, exactly.
Yeah.
But Wonder Woman does make this list. We've got one spot left. Zedius, what movie, what TV show are you going to bring up now?
There's a couple others that are on my list that I like that could probably be higher, but I have even a hard time fighting for some of them. So I'm just going to go with something that's currently on TV, and that's had 2 great seasons so far. And right now, season 3 looks like it's about to hit people in the heart, and this again, this is one of those shows that caught me by surprise too, because Tyler Hoechlin, I just saw him as Derek, I think, in Teen Wolf the series. So I had no idea that I had no unction that this guy could be Superman or Clark Kent. Like I'm like, nah, not my Superman. There's no way this cat can be a good Clark Kent. But hell, he's done a great job. Done a great job as Clark. Done a great job as Superman. And Bissy Tulloch. Yeah, she's done a hell of a job as Lois. And then with the introduction of the kids, the whole super family going on right now, I like it, love it. And then season 1 had such a great twist with kind of like the villain antagonist of it. Oh, that it's still like one of those epic moments when it happens. Like, yo, that's who he is. I'm like, dope. With UA, I think I can't remember his name. William Park's character. Yeah, Superman and Lois. I'm going to throw it out there as my last show, but love the show so far. I think it's had a great 2 seasons, and I don't think season 3 is not setting up to be a disappointment. So that's a major price side.
Chris, what do you say about Superman and Lois?
Daddy, it's a different one up earlier. I would say, yeah, I do love this show. It's like it. Also, on the last spots, I turned because there are 2 current ones that I want. Between that and one other thing I want to bring up, like, and there's another one that I feel we don't bring up people doing murder for. I don't give a slight note if it get, and I am okay with that. I do love this show. I think Superman is great, Lois is great, Lana Lane is great, her kid is really good. The Superman kids is really good. There's some great dramatic stuff to it. I think that what makes it unique and very relatable show at points. I like how they keep it real and at the same time fantasy like that one thing I do like about the show. Yeah, so a slight no, just because we on our last spot and it hurt me because if we brought it earlier, I would have said yes.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, Superman and Lois was a big surprise to me. Because I know, like Matt was really critical of Tyler Hoechlin Superman when he was first introduced in Supergirl. But this show kind of gave him a reason to be his own thing, and it's one of those ones like, for the most time, like, everyone just assumed it was part of the Arrowverse, because I think everyone's going, "Oh, why isn't Flash coming to help Superman with this, or wasn't Arrow here, or whatnot?" Because I know they had that whole subplot with Green with Diggle with the Green Rock, which obviously went nowhere. But it was ultimately revealed in season 2 that that is on its own Earth, and which still leads to a bunch of questions, but it's still a great show.
So
yeah, I mean it's one of those ones like it's still. It's still a great show because like it's one of those ones like my big thing that they could do, which would is like if they totally reveal that like that when Diggle on the Earth Prime it's set before Arrowverse when he threw the stone away and it ended up in the Diggle in the hands of Diggle of the Earth, then they could still continue that whole Green Lantern support if they want to go that way. Who knows if they are? I don't think they are.
Would never allow it.
but it's one of those ones like. But that being said, I love Superman Lois. It's great, and I'm really enjoying the season so far. So it's a yes. Matt, what do you say about Superman and Lois?
Yeah, Malcolm brought it up, and I made no secret about it. When Tyler Hoechlin was introduced in Supergirl, I was not a fan of his depiction. And then in Elseworlds, still didn't like him. Crisis, however, he got better, and I was like, okay, I kind of liked it. It did kind of suck that you put him in a thing with an actor who's far better as Superman in this thing, but it's fine. It's okay. Bitsy told always thought from her first scene in Elseworlds, I thought she was an incredible Lois Lane. But then this show airs, and that pilot episode, and Malcolm knows we had conversations about Tyler Hoechlin is now one of my favorite Supermen because of this show.
Yeah.
And the reason is, and why I love this show, and I'm giving it a yes, even though there's a show that I didn't bring up that I wish I had, but I'm giving it a yes because what I love is we talked about it. My first nomination was a Superman show from the 40s. Superman usually like they do like Superboy in the 80s and 90s, or they do Smallville or something, or they do like Max Fleischer or the Avengers. Like they never go beyond like Superman when he's like 29 or 30. This show has, and that family dynamic I think has added such an interesting element of Clark Kent as a husband, a father, and being Superman. Like, how does he balance all that? I think Jonathan and Jordan are great, and their stories of Jordan trying to learn his powers and his relationship with Sarah. And then poor fucking Jonathan, who just through the second season was just every episode was like, hey, let's just shit on Jonathan for this episode. Poor dude. He's doing better now in season 3 at least. But I love this show, and I think what I love about it is it captures the heart of Superman. From that first moment in the pilot when he's in the original suit and he's like, "Yeah, my mom made this suit for me." Yeah, it's fantastic. It gets a yes from me.
And Tim, what do you say about Superman and Lois?
I think this is the interesting thing with DC, and you could either praise or hate depending on what version of the Flash does this. With the DC, it's a very interesting take because you can take things that don't follow in the same, like let's say Arrowverse. You can make them in different timelines, and it still makes sense because it's still its own thing because of time travel with the Flash. And with each show, you can make it its own thing. With Superman and Lois, it surprised me it is very good. It really is. It surprised me for that because, like, Matt, what you said when you first saw the few first introductions, you're like, are we on another Superman Returns acting of this? Because I didn't like Superman Returns. I didn't like that version. I didn't like that actor as Superman.
Brandon Routh.
I did not think. I like Brandon Routh as Adam. He did great there.
Mm-hmm.
With the show, it really changed that opinion for me because even at Crisis, I was like, okay, it's towards the end, whatever. Then they announce the show, and it's like, okay, let's see how this goes. And you watch it, it's really good. They give him story to sink his teeth into. They give a really good showing for this. This is something they could have done with past shows to make it better. I think they could have done it with Supergirl to make it far better, given it far better story like they do with Superman and Lois. So I would say, yeah, I think we've closed out our list. I would put this on there. I'll add on our mentionables if we still do that. But yeah, I would say, yeah, this Superman and Lois gets added on.
And that Superman and Lois does close off our list. Chris, what are some honorable mentions that you have?
So I prefer to comment murder. I would have brought up Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, 2 great animated shows from Cartoon Network that I feel like, yeah, because they're great, especially Justice League Unlimited, great. The current show I would bring up, I think, for example, everything that Superman Lois does well, that The Boys does well, and Lucifer does well, is Doom Patrol. I think Doom Patrol is one of the best shows HBO Max has ever created. I think it's a great introduction, and it started out the DC thing, but a great introduction to, like, they gave Brendan Fraser a great restart to his career role. He's so good at it at Wolverine. Considering Dalton's fantastic. Matt Boomer should be in the conversation sometime for Emmy of how good he is in the show and the stuff with his talk, but his past and him being gay, way it was back then, and you get the flashback, him reluctant to come out, and then you get to stuff, him going back, revisiting his family and all of that. It's pretty emotional art to it, and the way he does with personality disorder. I thought were brilliant. This is a show I recommend a lot of people check out, and I hope it ends well because I've been loving this show since the very beginning. And Alan Tudyk, perfect as in the show as the villain. He both two DC shows he's been great in. And Sandman is good. Legend of Tomorrow is good. Black Lightning is good. I like Supergirl. And Constantine. First season of Constantine were pretty good. And then they canceled
But yeah, like for me, when I was going into this, I knew that I was going to be careful here because if I want to, I would have nominated like all the Arrowverse shows. The list could have been 7 spots Arrowverse, if realistically. But it did pay me not to nominate because I like despite what Tim just said about Supergirl earlier, I actually really do love Supergirl. And it's one of those ones I think Supergirl found its stride after coming off its own Earth, which
Very
it
much
did
so.
start off on their first place. Then it started doing the crossovers and all that. And I think it found its stride when they brought him into CW. Legends of Tomorrow is another one that I really pay me not to bring up because it's really good. I did think about bringing out Peacemaker, but there's only one season.
I forgot about that.
And the reason I think Batman the Animated Series might have been aired on New Zealand is because I really I like when it comes to animated Batman. The first time I ever watched animated Batman was Batman Beyond. I really loved that.
I love that.
And then another show I really loved, but was just cancelled after one season, and I didn't bring it up because I didn't think it was going to go anywhere. Is I actually did like that Powerless show about the insurance company that deals with superhero stuff.
Yeah.
And I also really enjoyed Naomi, the recent show that came out. I think it was a few years ago. But Matt, any honorable mentions you're going to bring up?
Peacemaker was one that I was going to bring up. I even though it's only one season, that show is
it's the same problem I had with
incredible. It's incredible. I had it on like my backup list, but I knew it probably wouldn't get on. But I love Batman: The Brave and the Bold. I think that was just such a fun concept of every week he gets teamed up with another Batman. It was a little bit more of a lighter show, but I loved it. I loved that show on Cartoon Network. Let me just see here. The Adventures of Superman with George Reeves.
Mm-hmm.
I love that show. I watched it growing up when I was a kid. Not like obviously when it was airing.
Back in your 40s.
Back in the 50s. I look really good for my age. And then the last one was the show that introduced me not just to DC but to comic books in general, which was Justice League Unlimited. Which actually today I literally just picked up from Walmart the 10-disc set that's Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. But between the two, I think Unlimited was the superior show. I think the introduction of characters like Green Arrow and the reintroduction of characters like Supergirl was amazing. That crew of the Justice League were so freaking great. And also, it has the better animated Superman with George Newbern. I think he's
and it had some pretty good emotional episodes too.
Yes, definitely did. Those are my honorable mentions.
But yeah, George Newbern, one of my favorite actors who has appeared in a Saw movie. But Tim, what are some honorable mentions you had?
I had The Adventures of Superman growing up as a kid. That was my. Even before the Christopher Reeve movies, watching them on TV, The Adventures of Superman reruns were my first introduction to Superman and DC. So, that was on there. Legends of Tomorrow, I love that concept of let's take them out of the universe and let them do time shenanigans, which is always fun to watch of just going on its own thing. Guilty pleasure of mine was the backstory into Superman's homeworld with Krypton, even though it was only 2 seasons. I did love that mythos of what Krypton was like, because we would only hear bits and pieces throughout the lore. And the last one I'll mention is my second favorite iteration behind Keanu Reeves is Constantine. Even though it only lasted 1 season, I wouldn't have brought it up early because of that 1 season airing of it. But it's my second favorite Constantine. I still love Keanu Reeves' Constantine movie more, but the Constantine show was still great.
I mean, hey, allow him to be on Legend tomorrow. That's
true.
But Zedius, any honorable mentions that you have?
Oh yeah, man. Some of already said JLU was down on my list. Did like just sleeping with the light. Supergirl was literally these are like my 8, 9, and number 12 shows. Supergirl was one of those shows that I liked a lot. It's just that it was kind of down at the bottom, and I felt like they kind of did her character some disjustice in a lot of the seasons. However, I enjoyed more seasons than I did dislike the season. So Supergirl was there. Black Lightning had 4 seasons. It had 2 really great seasons.
Yeah.
And 2 very mid seasons, and they have it in the middle. And that's why I just couldn't fight for season 2. Season 2 for sure, Black Lightning, which kind of hurt, but season 1
was so great.
Season 1 was phenomenal.
So
and it ended well with season 4, but season 2 kind of just brought out the conversation to me. And then the one show that really taught me to give every show at least 1 season came out in 2014. At least 1 season, because while 23 episodes of this show was crap, it came down to the last episode of Gotham of season 1, and it turned itself around, and the season 2 to 5 was like, damn, this is a pretty good show. So yeah, Gotham was on my list. But
Great show, only 2 seasons on Fox. Human Target is a really fun show.
I remember hearing about it. I know, because he's a character, but
Jackie O'Haley is so hysterical in that show.
Oh, that's another thing, because I was currently watching Watchmen, and only 3 episodes in, but still far a good show.
I forgot about that.
I really couldn't get into Watchmen myself. But before we go into our ranking, I'm going to bring up the one person that was watching us today. He put in his list of his top 12 DC TV shows, so I'm going to shout him out. Kenneth Crowley's top 12, like he had Smallville, Batman Animated Series, Superman Lois, Supergirl, Flash, Adventures of Superman, DC Legends of No, Arrow, the 90s Flash, Black Lightning, Superman the Animated Series, and Batman Beyond. So a lot of the stuff we talked about today. And
it's a good list, Ken.
No, solid.
But with that, Matt, what do you have for number 12?
Just because, even though I love this 1 season out of the shows I've seen, this is the one I stopped watching, so it's The Flash.
Tim.
Hashtag justice for Terra Nova. But yeah, there are too many bad memories of The Flash.
Zedius.
You ass. Batman 66.
Chris.
The Flash, hashtag justice for Patty.
And I've got Lois and Clark, but to my sadness, The Flash is going to be at number 12.
I think this is the first time I've ever had to change my board so damn early.
Okay.
Very touche, Tim. Touche. Terra Nova strikes again.
All right, I hurt me by hand.
I'm almost convinced that Tim just had that written on the board the whole time, just waiting to bring it out.
He's had it prepped.
But Tim, what do you have for 11?
Hashtag time for Time Force. I put Teen Titans.
Zedius.
I stuck with Batman 66.
Chris.
Arrow, hashtag justice for Sarah, the better Black Canary in Arrow than Laura.
I put Lois and Clark still. Matt.
I had Arrow.
Arrow goes number 11, then shit.
First 2 seasons ever is great. Hard to argue the rest of it.
Crap. This is the earliest I've ever had to change my board multiple times. What's going on here, Mo?
Yeah.
Now there's shows I really like.
I mean, I'm just really shocked. Like the 2 Arrowverse shows, which I thought might have been a little bit higher.
I figured Arrow would have definitely been higher.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Arrow.
Okay, I will let you guys know I don't vote for shows that I've never seen, so that's why I can't put like Lucifer on here or The Boys or something. So that's one of the reasons. It's just Arrow. When it came down to the ones I've seen, I like the other ones more.
Zedius.
Don't kill me, people.
66.
Chris.
Wonder Woman 70.
It's right now. I don't feel bad for voting Lois and Clark this low. Lois and Clark, Matt.
Wonder Woman.
And Tim.
Fuck the Vampire Diaries, Teen Titans.
So are we 5-way tie?
No,
I think Wonder Woman.
Me and Chris both have Wonder Woman.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
I go with the show I haven't seen.
What's going on here?
Wonder Woman beat Arrow.
The only one
No!
more show I have not seen on this list.
I have to keep changing my board. This doesn't happen. Oh man.
Man,
But Chris, what do you have for number 9?
no, this is a long title. Lois and Clark, the New Adventure of Superman. I have not seen it, so I had to go.
I mean, you could have just done what I did, just put Lois and Clark, Matt,
Batman 66.
Tim.
Hashtag Smallville is overrated, Zadius, but I
Whoa!
Zedius.
Batman 66.
So we've got Batman 66 and Lois and Clark. Tim,
Between the two.
you're the only one that didn't have one of the two. Lois and Clark with Batman 66 at 9.
Okay, so it's either Batman 66 or Lois and Clark. We'll go Batman 66.
Okay, and then I don't have to change my board. Batman 66 would have been my next pick if we had gone the other way.
But yeah, I've still got Lois and Clark and Matt.
Just based off of how my list, I ranked my list. Superman the Animated Series.
Tim.
True Zadius, I ran out of stuff. Teen Titans.
Zedius.
I just put TT for Teen Titans.
Lois and Clark.
So Teen Titans and Lois and Clark. Matt, Lois and Clark and Teen Titans at 8.
I don't like either one of these being an 8, but I have Lois and Clark higher on my own personal list, so Teen Titans.
The hurt. Not changing my board. Hashtag justice for.
You should put /Titans.
Teen Titans Go, the more offensive one.
The live action Titans show's not good.
It sucks.
It's all right.
I've never seen it.
But Teen Titans Go just broke the fourth wall all the times.
So,
And they loved waffles.
but Matt, what do you have for 7?
I still got Superman the Animated Series. This is like the first time I haven't had to change my board.
Tim.
I got Lois and Clark.
Zedius.
Lois and Clark.
Chris.
Lois and Clark. Hashtag justice for Teen Titans.
Lois and Clark.
I'm the only person who respects Dean Cain and Terry Hatcher as Clark and Lois, I guess.
Look,
Y'all
maybe
both
once,
deserve to
maybe
get Terry Hatcher
maybe
for
I'll
4 seasons.
ever go around and actually watch the full season. I might change my mind, but I've only seen, as I said, I've only seen the first season.
Holy shit.
Malcolm, I'm just going to tell you, they're real and they're spectacular. Get it?
Oh,
'Cause
this is
Terry
tough.
Hatcher was on
Oh, wait.
Seinfeld.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
All right, but Tim.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on.
Superman.
I forgot. I'm pissed because this fucking slipped by it. Smallville, Once Upon a Time sucks. Now I'm just getting anger out.
Oh, that's a fighting word, man.
Zedius.
Superman the anime series.
Chris.
Smallville, Doom Patrol did this better, had that.
Lucifer. Matt.
Superman the anime series.
So I got Superman the anime series and Smallville. It's not going to be Smallville. I'm telling you that.
Yeah, we're welcome. So what do we have left? The Boys,
Lucifer,
Smallville, Lucifer, Batman animated series, and that's it, right?
Oh, this
Yeah,
is
so we've got The Boys, Smallville, Lucifer,
Mhm.
Batman animated series, and Superman and Lois.
Oh, that's right.
Well, I forgot about
Not in a
Superman.
bad way. Not in a bad way.
Yeah, I
just in a you know.
Be funny if they ended up number one's like just because you forgot about it.
No,
anyway,
because I don't ever want to
Well-
lose my title of Daredevil.
But Chris, what do you have for 5?
Smallville, Doomsday stuck in this. Remember that?
Oh, he was in dude in half an episode. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry, Chris.
You shut your
Look, they did the best they
He's not
could
wrong.
for TV budget. Lucifer, Matt,
Superman and Lois. And
Tim,
not just because I was just reminded.
Smallville, Buffy is greater than 90210. They did it better.
Zedius.
Can I change mine real quick? No. I just tried Batman the anime series.
How dare you?
Which means Smallville is going to be 5.
We fought for a good fight, guys.
I
Fight.
mean,
Wait
out
a
there,
minute,
Ryan
I
Permison
thought
is
Superman and Lois were
I mean,
already.
everyone's houses that voted for it and going to attack them.
Okay. Oh,
Um,
it's a tough.
But I've still got Lucifer. Matt,
I still got Superman and Lois.
Tim,
Superman, Lois, Ryan Permison, get better taste.
Oh,
Zedius.
Taking
you're
hollow
attacking
shots.
the guy who's not here to defend himself.
I wish I would put Lucifer last time, but I put Lucifer now.
Chris.
It hurt. I think we come back to this another time when it's done. It might be higher Superman Lois.
So it's going to be Superman and Lois.
It's just like I can't vote.
Yeah.
There.
So
Oh,
we have The Boys, Lucifer, and Batman.
The Boys,
Oh my
Lucifer, and
God.
Batman animated series.
All right, well,
that would be the epic battle right there between the
Actually,
two.
you know what? Yeah, pause.
I've still got Lucifer, Matt.
okay. I'm breaking my rule on Rankum, and I'm voting for something that I haven't seen, but that's because I refuse to have my choices between the top two be something I haven't seen. So Lucifer.
Tim.
Damn, I should have wrote Matt, get better taste, but Batman the animated series.
Idiots.
I put The Boys.
Chris.
I heard. I just think the boys a little bit better. Lucifer had that Tom Ellis from Bond.
But Lucifer is going to be at number 3. And it comes down to The Boys and Batman the animated series.
So we're voting on number 1 then?
Yeah,
I mean,
going
our
straight to number 1.
is easy.
I mean, it's easy for me because I haven't seen the other one.
Yeah, me either. That's why I was like, I had to pick between those two right now because, or else I'd just be like, you might know.
But
Oh, 1 second.
Zedius, what do you have for number 1?
Go somebody else was writing mine again.
You froze a little bit. I didn't hear what you sort of voted for.
I think
that's
he's
fine,
trying to
'cause-
write something smart.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to rush. I forgot we were voting for number one. I chose Batman the Animated Series.
Chris.
Yeah, much love the boy at Batman and series. R.I.P. Kevin Conroy, the best Batman.
I mean, maybe I'll have this opinion if I ever see the Batman the Animated Series, but I went the boys. Matt.
Batman the Animated Series.
And Tim.
I went the boys.
But it's going to be Batman the Animated Series. But with that, we've reached the end. And our top 12 DC television shows. At number 12, we had The Flash. At 11, we had The Arrow. Or just Arrow. At 10, we had Wonder Woman 70s. At 9, we got Batman 66. At 8, we got Teen Titans. At 7, we got Lois and Clark New Adventures of Superman. At 6, we got Superman the Animated Series. At 5, we got Smallville. At 4, we got Superman and Lois.
Did we literally put all the Superman shows back to back?
Yes, we did.
I forgot about Smallville, or else I would have fought and it should have been lower.
I mean, even then, depending on when you put it, we still had all 4 Superman shows right in the middle of this list.
Malcolm, I would have fought.
At 3, we had Lucifer. At 2, we got The Boys. And at number 1, we had Batman the Animated Series. But that is our list today. That is your people to. I don't know where else going. But with that being said, next week, which may be a day later because of WrestleMania, I haven't quite decided yet. The topic will be top 12 video games that should be made into a movie. But with that being said, Matt, where can people find you online?
Pong should be number 1 on that list. I will take nothing less. You guys can find me at Kearns_Matthew on Twitter. Matt Movies 611 on YouTube and WordPress. I just put out a video just the other day on the original X-Men movie and what I think it does right that a lot of the other X-Men movies don't do. You can also find me right here as host of Second Look and the Fandom Podcast, which hopefully at some point we'll have episodes this year. But you can find me every week live streaming with Abe Flores on Simple Chicks and Nonsense. We have a ton of fun. The last episode, we casted our own Superman movie that we called Son of Krypton, and it's a pretty awesome cast. It's a lot of fun. We do a lot of crazy stupidness, but it's fun. It's the greatest unlisted show on Take 3 because it's the only unlisted show on Take 3.
I mean, you might have to do an episode of the Fandom Podcast about the Power Rangers with someone that may not be in this on this panel. But where can people find you?
You mean RJ?
Oh, not on Take 3 anymore. God. But no, you can find me competing a lot of the fandom stuff nowadays. A lot of different places. Probably taking away one of Zadius' title wins and the TV records. Probably trying to pitch TV ideas to get maybe something with TV trivia back going again. But that's where you can find me.
Zadius, where can people find you online?
Y'all can find me on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram at ZADDEUS Milk. That's just my name. You can just search for me. I of course, on the top where I'm posting some movie reviews sometimes here and there. I actually can post some reviews I did from back in 2000, first time reviews on there soon. But just look me up on there. Also be doing trivia and at multiple leagues here on Facebook and stuff. So just look it up on Facebook or search my name on YouTube. You will find me on Multiplex, some other trivia leagues right here on Take 3's rank them a couple times in the past. So just give it a watch. Thank you for being with us tonight. Instead of going to see John Wick Chapter 4.
Great movie.
So you're not doing reviews on Stardust anymore?
The Stardust app is no longer with us.
Only Kristen Smith.
But Chris, where can people find you online?
You can find me anywhere. I'll Green Dead Temperature Holly Quinn Trivia on here, but yeah, anywhere else you find me here, you find me everywhere like random like TMG Geek, TMG Trivia, Jordan Orange thing all the time, and sometimes over a movie battleground I do the debate, and I do appear on their show sometimes.
Yeah, I mean the only two people I know who did stuff on the Stardust app is Kristen Smith and Zedius.
Excuse me, I posted a few reviews on Stardust. I guess you never followed.
I did it one time and I never did it.
I mean, I never really used the Stardust app anyway. I just know that.
That's where it's going now.
But that being said, I may be buying time, so this is almost exactly the same length of time as our TV themes episode from early on the year. But it's actually really close. I think TV themes were about 2 hours 45 or something like that. But you can find me hosting Rankum every week. We're doing top 12 video games that should be made into movies next week. May or may not be on Sunday. Maybe a day later. I'll figure that out and let people know. But you can also find me hosting trivia matches over on Full Metal and all over the place. I also host Gone Off the Win on Take 3. It's taking a little bit of a break because the award season is over. But
there's nothing to talk about.
Well, yeah, I mean, like we'll probably be coming back at some stage. We'll figure out a way to do it going forward to try and have it a more sort of widespread discussion. But it is what it is. But until next time, keep listing shit and yeah.
Wake up, little halflings, it's time to leave. Go and live your